When it comes to winners and losers of the 2023 NFL Draft, you would be hard-pressed to find someone who does not have the Indianapolis Colts as one of the top 5 biggest winners from the draft class. Me personally, they are my number 1 winners, and that is why we are doing a 5-year rebuild today of the Indianapolis Colts with Anthony Richardson, Julius Brents, Josh Downs, and everyone else from this, what looks to be on paper, spectacular draft class. So just as a broad overview of the Colts roster to start things off, it's really not as bad as I feel a lot of people make it out to be. I think most people have the Colts pegged as a 3 to 5 win team this season, and they very well can be. I mean, brand new rookie quarterback, not the most polished guy coming into the league. A lot of questions there. You don't know what you're going to get. Brand new rookie head coach. I get it. This team was terrible last season, but the amount of one-score games that this team lost, I mean, think about it. They choked against the Eagles. They choked against the Commanders. They gave up, the biggest comeback in NFL history to the Vikings. That's 3 games right there that I can think of just off the top of my head. Absolutely choked against Houston in Week 18, and that was honestly for the better. So you take those 4 one-score games, this could have been a 7-win team last year. This team really does have some serious talent. And you look at the offensive side of the ball, the line is not that bad. Bernhard Raimann, yeah, he was rough as a rookie to start things off, but he really started to come on towards the end of the season. I expect a big leap from him in year 2. I'm hoping he can be our guy long term. Quentin Nelson, he's been a bit of a mystery the last season or 2, but still highly regarded player. Ryan Kelly is probably washed at this point, unfortunately. Maybe a new coach can help get something new out of him. Danny Pinter's terrible. And Braden Smith, I think, will have a nice bounce-back season. Now, Jelani Woods actually did flash quite a bit as a rookie. Very athletic tight end. I've got high hopes for him. Jonathan Taylor, when healthy, is... You can let me know in the comments if you disagree with me. When this guy is healthy, he's the best running back in the league. I don't care what you have to say. I know that I'm biased. I accept that. But man, Jonathan Taylor, you go back and look at what he did in 2021 with Carson Wentz. Go back specifically to the Patriots game when Carson Wentz was like 3 of 18, it felt like. I know those aren't the actual stats, but man, it's like the Colts, the Patriots in particular, that game, they knew it was going to be a run, and Taylor still busts it off, gets a long touchdown run to seal things. I mean, the guy is legit. He is strong. He is fast. Jonathan Taylor is a stud. He's going to be the guy for us long term. In the receiving game, Michael Pittman Jr., a very good number 2 receiver. Colts could use an alpha, and the way that Alec Pierce flashed as a rookie, he very well could be that guy. He is tall. He is fast. He can run routes. He wins contested catches. I've got high hopes for Alec Pierce. And then you have Josh Downs, who hopefully for us can be T.Y. Hilton 2.0. So overall, I've got some very high hopes for this offense. Now you head over to the defensive side, and this is actually the unit that played very well last year. They don't look as good on paper, I will be honest. Now DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart, perhaps the best DT duo in the league. They're certainly up there. Grover Stewart, one of the best run stuffers in the league. You definitely need help at the edge position. They did sign Samson Ebukam. Kwity Paye has been waiting to break out forever. Maybe he does with us, maybe not. You do have a couple younger guys waiting in the wings, Dayo Odengbo, Tyquan Lewis, who has been pretty disappointing. You do have this guy, Adebaware, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, freak athlete that the Colts did draft. I actually am going to bump him up to DT3 and hope that he can start to develop for us. In the secondary, the cornerback room is young outside of the veteran Kenny Moore. Isaiah Rodgers is a very underrated player in this league, great player. Julius Brents, this is the 2nd round pick, tall, lengthy corner. You do also have Darius Rush, who I believe was a 5th round pick. A lot of people expected him to go maybe in the 3rd or the 4th, so great value there. In the linebacking core, you have Zaire Franklin, actually outplayed expectations last season. Middle linebacker is a concern, but you do also have Shaq Leonard, who when healthy is one of the best playmaking defensive players in the league. Just a turnover waiting to happen. You definitely want that on your defense. The safeties, I think in real life, they have more potential than they might have here. Julian Blackmon's 76 overall, Nick Cross is 71, although you have to keep in mind, Nick Cross is very young, like 20, 21 years old, so still plenty of time for him. Rodney Thomas also last year was like a 7th round pick out of Yale, played very well when he had to be on the field. Sadly, I don't know that we can develop him here, but this Colts team does have some talent and some guys who can ascend and do have pretty high ceilings. Now I am going to go out and get ourselves a free agent here. I think Myles Jack makes sense. I know he didn't play the best for the Steelers, but from a Madden perspective, 26 years old, he does have superstar dev. And I do have this theory, the more superstars you have on the field, it doesn't really matter the overall. I think your team's going to perform better. So I think Myles Jack is going to be a good signing for us and definitely fills a position of need. And next up, I'm going to bring in some help for that right guard spot. So Will Hernandez, just 26 years old, hasn't had the most amazing career. I think he started things off better than where he is right now. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Will Hernandez as well. So I think 2 solid preseason signings, neither of them front page news by any means, but just rounding out some major holes that we have. And the remainder of the roster, it's really just young guys that we're waiting to step up. So that middle linebacker spot, we had nothing going there. Right guard, same thing. So I think we're looking pretty good heading into the season. And finally, one last change I'm going to make is we're going to go ahead and go with the Eagles offensive playbook. I actually debated this pretty heavily. I thought about going Bengals just to really rack up those passing stats. That just didn't feel realistic with who we have at quarterback. I'd like to see Anthony Richardson get some of those rushing stats. And I think with a playbook like this one that the Eagles ran last year, I mean, we do have Shane Steichen in the building. I think this is the most realistic. This is going to be the exact same offense that Steichen ran last year. And I know it's just a video game, but to me, I think this is the best fit. We'll give it a season or two and see if we like it or not. We can always change it later. Now, in the preseason, occasionally you get these training camp standout messages, so someone has done well in training camp. I had a feeling it was going to be Kwity Paye. It usually is one of your defensive linemen, so we did get that for him. So they're asking where has he improved the most. We're going to go with rushing the passer, and this should get us a nice boost. So he's actually going to get +3 power and finesse moves. We need that. We need a big season out of Kwity Paye. I've done Colts rebuilds in the past. I've done rebuilds with other teams where I've seen him out in free agency. The guy just does not get it done, doesn't develop for whatever reason. So I'm hoping that we can get something out of him here. That would be amazing. So the good news is we ended the preseason 3-0, but don't forget, so did the 2008 Detroit Lions. We do have now an 83 overall team. Now that we've made a couple additions, we've earned some training points, we're looking pretty good. So heading into the season, I mean, the Houston Texans, they're a 76 overall. Like, we're not the worst team in the division by any means. I'm going to guess that we can finish around 7-10. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm going to set my season goal for around that range. Let's get to the midseason point, see how things are looking, and see how we're feeling about this team's progress, because ultimately that's all we're searching for this season is progress. Okay, so at the midseason point, we are 3-4, not amazing, but also about on par for what we were hoping for and expecting, coming off a nice 42-21 win against Tennessee. Honestly, I can't remember the last time the Colts have beat the Titans, so if we can pull this off in 2023, I will certainly take that. Now, we do want to take a look. Actually, we do have some weekly awards, so let's see who's possibly lighting up the scoreboard for us. It is Anthony Richardson, 4 touchdowns and a rushing score. So not bad at all by the rookie. If we can get Offensive Rookie of the Year for Anthony Richardson, I would be thrilled. I don't know how realistic it is, but that would be incredible. I do always like to take a look and see at this point who is ready to negotiate. We're going to have $71 million in cap space. And so far, not really anyone I'm dying to bring back, to be honest. I mean, Myles Jack is a potential option, but he's got no interest. And outside of that, Will Hernandez was just kind of a band-aid. So we're going to be looking pretty good heading into year 2. Now, again, we just got to show some flashes here. I'm going to upgrade the players quickly. Let's get to the playoffs. I'm going to guess 7-10. That's my rough projection for this team, but we'll certainly find out. And would you look at this, guys? We are a playoff team. We're 10-7. I'm honestly in shock and disbelief right now. It's honestly reminiscent of Andrew Luck's rookie year. Remember, Colts, bottom ranked in the power rankings coming into the season. They end up going 11-5 behind their rookie quarterback. Looks like the roster has progressed nicely. Let's see how this happened. So you can see here, we cut things off at week 8, the Commanders game. We beat them. Lost to the Patriots pretty handily, destroyed the Raiders, who we have our first playoff matchup with. We beat the Eagles, so Steichen's former team, 35-30 against one of the most talented rosters in the league. Beat the Steelers, they're always tough. Destroyed the Cowboys, who, if you can do that in Madden, that's a big win. Lost a close one to the Vikings, lost a close one to the Chargers. Beat the Giants, and destroyed the Texans. So honestly, the Colts are looking like a pretty good team. This is surprising to say the least. Let's look at those stats though. So year one offense, 7th in the league. Anthony Richardson leads the Colts to a top 10 offense and the number 2 defense in the NFL, bro. Oh my goodness. So Richardson, 4,500 yards, 44 touchdowns, 12 picks, passer rating of 118. That's amazing. I mean, those are MVP numbers from Anthony Richardson. Let's check the rushing though. See how he did there, 480 yards on the ground and 6 rushing scores. Anthony Richardson could be MVP, bro. I mean, forget Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's looking great. Jonathan Taylor, to his credit, 1,400 yards and 12 scores, 4 scores for Zach Moss. In the receiving game, Isaiah McKenzie's the leader in yardage. That's crazy. No 1,000-yard receivers despite that crazy season. I guess he was just spreading the ball around. Pittman does have 11 scores. Alec Pierce has 9. Taylor has 6. Josh Downs does get involved as a rookie, 413 and 4. And Jelani Woods, only 2 scores. I don't love that. Let's look at the defense. Leading tackler is Miles Jack with 134. Perhaps we might need to bring him back. Let's look at the sacks. We are going to get 13 out of Buckner, 7.5 from Kwity Paye. So pass rush could still use some work, although 7.5, I'll certainly take that. That's better than what we normally see out of him. 3 picks from Nick Cross, though, not bad. I bet that helped with his progression. 2 from Miles Jack, 2 from Isaiah Rodgers, and 2 from Kenny Moore. Not bad at all. And 1 from the rookie Julius Brents. So any of our other rookies, Darius Rush gets 1 as well. I'm happy with the results. I do briefly want to look at the yearly awards just for the sake of Anthony Richardson. He's going to come in 3rd in MVP voting. He's got to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, right? 2nd. So Taylor gets 2nd in Offensive Player of the Year. Richardson gets 4th. Show me Offensive Rookie of the Year. It's got to be him. I mean, it's him. And then the way that this works out is, unfortunately, these rookies will be commingled with the 2022 rookies. But let's look at the NFC side. Desmond Ridder wins it for the Falcons. They go 10-7. So I don't know, man. We might have the Offensive Rookie of the Year. And if so, that would be amazing for us. That could get him up to Superstar or better Dev. Now we have a matchup with the Las Vegas Raiders. It's going to be Jimmy G coming to town. And Josh Jacobs, of course. They don't have a good offense. They do get quite a bit of sacks thanks to that guy right there, Max Crosby. And yeah, I think we've got a winnable first playoff game. So, I mean, for all that the Colts have been through the last few seasons since Andrew Luck retired, I mean, this team has not won a playoff game since Andrew Luck has been the quarterback. They've been to the playoffs. Phillip Rivers got them there in 2020, but no wins. Let's see if we can get past Las Vegas. Anthony Richardson starting to already cement his legacy as an Indianapolis Colt. And we do get the victory, 35-32. We win an absolute thriller in Anthony Richardson's playoff debut. Let's go ahead and take a look at that schedule. I want to take a look at the stats from that game because that is a good one right there. We are going to get a very tough one against the Cincinnati Bengals, but that is going to come at home as well. So let's take a look here and see, where is our guy Anthony Richardson? Desmond Ridder does come up short, so I don't know. We'll see. But 527 yards of total offense. That's insane. Richardson does throw 4 picks, though. 331 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. That's insane. Rushing, Taylor has 150 yards. Richardson does have 17. Did break 3 tackles. Isaiah McKenzie, 110 receiving yards. I got to get him out of the lineup. I guess Josh Downs is still getting involved, so that's good, but I really don't have any interest in Isaiah McKenzie. Divine Diablo had 14 tackles, though. That's crazy. Sacks, we had 2 from Defoe, 1 from Grover Stewart. Kwity Paye did get in there and get 1. Interceptions, though. 2 for Nate Hobbs, 1 for Diablo. I mean, that guy was all over the field. Julius Brents did get 1 for us on Jimmy G. And now we've got a really big matchup here with Joe Burrow and the Bengals. So they are coming in with an 87 overall team. We already know the story of this team. They've got a great offense, man. I'm not super worried about Joe Mixon. I'm definitely worried about the other Joe here, Mr. Burrow. They do give away the ball a fair amount. They pass it 57% of the time, 5th in points per game, number 1 in yards per game. That's going to be tough. They don't have a very good defense, though, whatsoever. They've got a good run defense, so if we can focus on that and expose them through the air as well, I think we'll be in good shape. But, man, if we could get past Cincinnati and get to the conference championship game, that would be huge. Imagine this season, 2023, Anthony Richardson leads the Colts to a 10-7 record. He takes care of Jimmy G in the wild card round, and then he beats Joe Burrow. Just think of that. That is crazy. Will it happen, though? It's time to find out. And big moment of truth here. Are we going to the conference championship game? We are not. We lose 38-31. I mean, you can't be mad at that, right? Like, for the expectations the Colts have this season, a 38-31 loss in the divisional round to Joe Burrow's Bengals, I'd be thrilled with that as a Colts fan. Like, that is beyond my best case scenario for this team this year. Let's look at the stats, though. Hopefully Richardson didn't give away the ball as many times as he did last week. So, pretty clean game, passer rating of 106, 310 yards. Unfortunately, Joe Burrow was just, I mean, he's Joe Burrow. 408 yards, 4 touchdowns, only 1 pick. He had a 49-yarder at one point. Yikes. We did bottle up Mixon, but they bottled up Taylor. He does score twice. Richardson does get a rushing score. In the receiving game, Tyler Boyd went off. T. Higgins really went off with 12 catches. Isaiah McKenzie just keeps getting involved. Jamar Chase scores twice. Josh Downs does score for us. We're not going to really see anything here for the defense. We know that we got, like, what, 1 interception. We didn't get any pressure on Burrow whatsoever. And Leonard did pick him off once. I want to look at the box score, though. So it actually was a pretty furious comeback. I mean, they had, what, it was 31-10 at halftime, and we outscored them 21-7 in the second half. So Richardson almost had these Bengals shook. Almost. It was an ugly game at halftime, but the team's future is bright. We're looking good heading into year 2. Now it's time for the offseason. And now let's take a look at that season recap. So the Bengals, who beat us, they do go on to the Super Bowl where they fall to Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. So Bryce Young already taking the Panthers to the promised land. As you can see, though, Anthony Richardson is your offensive rookie of the year. So definitely thrilled with that. Jalen Hurts wins MVP, and Dante Jackson is your Super Bowl MVP. So very interesting season here in the NFL. And now it is our last chance to negotiate with players whose contracts are going to be up. Of course, we know we're not super interested in anyone. However, I do have a bit of a strategy here I'd like to go with. Myles Jack, I don't know that I want him long term, but he was our leading tackler last year. If I go with a team-friendly deal, well, you know what? How expensive is this guy going to be? I mean, that's still, like, not bad. I would give him a neutral offer. I would do that, and he'll take it. Okay, I was about to say we lowball him and franchise tag, get him for 1 season, but for Myles Jack to have a cap hit of like $8-9 million, I'll certainly take that. That's not bad whatsoever. That keeps him around for the duration of the rebuild. I'm happy with that. That works. And now heading into the offseason, you can see here this team did grow quite a bit together. Richardson's up to an 85. They did give him superstar dev, and he's got 2 points left to go. So this guy already heading into year 2 is just a true dog in the NFL. Taylor's up to a 99. Pittman grew. Pierce grew. Josh Downs grew. Ryman even, I think, went up a rating or 2. We need a right guard. Jelani Woods actually progressed as well, surprisingly enough. It must be the age, I don't know. Kwity Paye's up to an 86. All right, I will certainly take that. I wish that the safeties would grow a little bit more in this game because Nick Cross did have a couple interceptions. I think he should be better than a 73. But I think we're actually looking okay. I think we need another edge rusher. I wouldn't mind moving on from Julian Blackmon, I'm not going to lie. I'm just not super impressed with him. And I know we've got a couple of young guys at corner, but if we could get ourselves like a dog in the room, I wouldn't mind that either. But offensively, we need a right guard. Maybe we bring in some competition at left tackle. Maybe a center. But usually this first free agent class is not the best, so I doubt there's going to be much out there, but we'll certainly give it a shot. And yeah, as you guys can see, definitely a disappointing class. I mean, I know Chris Ballard, the Colts GM, doesn't like to spend money in free agency like whatsoever, but this offseason he would really have the excuse not to do so. It's Michael Thomas, Adrian Phillips, Tyler Bass, Rashaan Evans, and Jarvis Landry. Those are your top 5 players available. That is pathetic. And really the only player I'm looking at would be Dalton Reisner. But even him, I'm not overly blown away with. He's got other teams in the bidding for him. If I set him a neutral deal, which is a cap hit of almost $8 million per season, would this even be enough to get us up there on his leaderboard? I mean, we'd be competing with the Ravens. I'm willing to do that. I'm not willing to give him a player-friendly deal. Let's see if Dalton Reisner would take this. I doubt it, but we'll certainly see. So he has signed, and not with us. So Dalton Reisner, where'd he go? Yeah, he did go ahead and join Baltimore, and that's fine. We can always address that position in the draft. I'd like to get us Marvin Harrison Jr. for the obvious sentimental reasons. I don't think that's realistic with where we're going to be picking, so guard is a spot we'll be looking at heavily. Now, of course, we're going to be quiet in free agency, but one thing I always like to take a look at each offseason is our pending contract situation. So quite a few guys up for new deals. Of course, these are going to be your 2020 draft class players for the most part. An amazing draft class. You can see here Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman Jr., Kenny Moore as another player whose contract will be up. He will be 28, 29 years old, still an 87 overall, so a potential trade candidate. And honestly, this might be a little bit cheesy, but I am kind of leaning towards possibly trying to flip Michael Pittman in our late first for an early first, go get ourselves Marvin Harrison Jr. I like Michael Pittman, but I just like Marvin Harrison Jr. a lot better. I'm sure Jim Irsay does as well. Very sentimental guy. Grover Stewart is coming up on age 30, so that is a tough decision. Anthony Richardson, I will go in and adjust his contract because we know he has much longer than 1 year left. He should have a 4-year deal, 5-year deal, because obviously we'll pick up that 5th-year option, so we won't have to worry about him. Isaiah Rodgers is just 25. He's probably someone we will re-sign. Julian Blackmon is up. Rigoberto Sanchez, solid punter. We will need to make a decision on, and Zach Moss. Okay, so now it is time for the 2024 NFL Draft. I know it says 2023, but you'll see in a moment these are 2024 prospects. The Steelers are picking first. Very interesting. So you would think in real life, if the Steelers are this bad, either Kenny Pickett is terrible, which I don't think that he is, or something crazy happened and they would trade the pick. But we'll see where they go here. They are going to take Marvin Harrison Jr. Okay, so there goes our chances of trading for him. I was just about to get into a big long spiel about how, once we got out of those first couple picks, maybe we make a move, but no, the Steelers are going to go ahead and snatch our hopes and dreams right away from us. So since we're picking 25th, it's going to be an interesting class here. We'll go through these pretty quickly. The Seahawks are going to go with JT Tuimoloau. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Patriots are taking Xavier Worthy. Interesting to see Caleb Williams still on the board. The Jets are going to select him here, the successor to Aaron Rodgers, I suppose. That would make sense for them. Amarius Mims from Georgia to the Jags. Texans picking 6th. They're going to go with Corey Foreman. Packers at 7 are going to go with Donovan Jackson, left guard out of Ohio State. Vikings at 8 are going to take Damon or Damon Payne out of Alabama, DT. Texans also going DT. Cardinals at 10 are going to go with Dallas Turner. Seahawks at 11 are going to select Jack Sawyer. So that's, I believe, 3 Buckeyes now in the first 11 picks. James Williams, strong safety out of Miami, to the Lions at 12. Dolphins at 13 are going to go with Nolan Rucci out of Wisconsin. I do want to check our draft board here, because I would like to get a high-end player, and if we could trade up for one, I'd be happy to do so. So let's see who's still on the board. Ooh, Kool-Aid McKinstry is still there. I like him a lot. Brock Bowers is interesting. Emeka Egbuka is interesting. Oh, man. We could still use a linebacker, I believe. So Barrett Carter could be intriguing. Shamar Turner at the DT spot. We definitely have options here. We really do. I mean, let's look at Kool-Aid McKinstry here. He was projected top 5. So could this be a guy worth trading up for? Just 21 years old out of Bama. We're not going to be able to see his traits. But, I mean, he's good. He's really good. So let's see what it would take here to move up to 14 with the Bucs, just out of curiosity. So first I want to take a look at the Bucs cornerback room and see if they are a team that would possibly be interested in taking him. I don't think that they are. And I know the Eagles and the Titans both come right after them. I could see one of those two teams doing it. With the Eagles, you have James Bradberry getting up there in age. Darius Slay, too, I think would be around 30, if not already there. Let's take a quick look at Darius Slay and James Bradberry. Yeah, I mean, 32, 30. They do have Shaq Griffin, but I think they would be a team where Kool-Aid McKinstry would make sense. And then the Titans are just really not a super talented team overall. I think they would be an obvious destination for him. So I think trading up with the Bucs, if we want to go ahead and get Kool-Aid, would make sense for us. So let's go ahead and work out a trade here. So ultimately, we're moving up 11 spots. I'm going to see if a first and a third will get the job done. I don't know if it will, but it's worth a shot. It's actually pretty close. So if we could just throw in a little something extra in next year's draft, a fifth, would that do the trick? Almost. I think a fourth in next year's draft, and we're in business. Let's see if this will do it. This will get us on the board here. Perfect. And we are getting ourselves at pick 14, a guy who is projected to go in the top 5, a guy who I think is an incredible talent. And we are now on the board here. So this is my first time getting to draft Kool-Aid McKinstry. I think this will be a huge boost to our defense. So let's go ahead and do that here. Remember, we were a playoff team, but we were letting up 31, 38 points in the wild card and the divisional. So going and getting ourselves a premier lockdown corner in Kool-Aid McKinstry. I know we just took Darius Rush in the second last year, but this is a guy who can step in and immediately be an impact starter for us. He's going to come in. He's not the fastest in the world, but I do love that hidden dev. So Kool-Aid McKinstry is the guy for us. And now I believe we have a couple second round picks to play with as well. So round 2, pick 17 is coming up here. Let's take a look and see who we might be able to snag at this spot. Let's look at our board. So at this point, it's cornerbacks, receivers. You do have a safety here, Derek Davis Jr. out of LSU. That could be an option for us, prevent us from having to worry about bringing back Julian Blackman. He is 6 foot. How's his speed? It's not going to tell us. His speed is good. So, I mean, not a mega athlete by any means. I think he'd be solid. I don't love the C zone coverage. I don't think he would develop into like an all-pro level player by any means in Madden. I am looking at Landon Jackson, though. The guy just looks pretty solid across the board. Out of Arkansas, defensive end. I mean, A to C block shed, and then B's across the board in every other category. We won't get his combine stats, but I think for a mid-second, we could use some help on the defensive line. We're going to go defense back-to-back here. And Landon Jackson does come with hidden dev. Love the bald head. So, yeah, we'll take Landon Jackson here. And now we do have another pick coming up shortly after. It's going to be round 2, pick 25. So just a span of about 8 picks. And I think we're 2 for 2 so far. I think we've made 2 solid additions to our defense. It should help us step things up. We had a good defense last year. They just fell apart in the playoffs. And now I'm looking at my board again, and I'm just really not loving who I'm seeing here. There's just really not a whole lot that excites me. We did say we wanted to look at the guard spot, so let's look at the left and right guards and see if there's anyone here who could potentially fit the bill for us. Dylan Fairchild's interesting. He's projected rounds 3 to 4, so it would be a reach for us if we were to take him here. And then you have Rocco Spindler out of Notre Dame. I mean, pair him up with his old teammate, Quentin. They wouldn't have been teammates, actually. There's a bit of an age gap at this point. But still, same school as Quentin Nelson. I mean, the Colts have reached in the past. I don't know if I love taking a guy in the second that could be there in the third or fourth. What are our trade back options here? Could we pick up maybe like a third and a pick in next year's draft? Let's just see. So I'm actually going to try something manual here. I mean, you can see we're getting some decent offers. I'm going to see if we could maybe pick up like a third in this year's draft and a third in next year's draft. I suppose it doesn't really matter who we try and make an offer with, but let me just see if I can do that. So here's what I'm going to try with the Dolphins. I'm going to see if they will move up 10 spots with us from 67 to 57, and if they'll throw in pick 77 in this year's draft. Let's see if this is a done deal. Not quite. Okay, so they don't like that. What if they were to throw in a third in next year's draft? How would they feel about that? I think this could be closer. And there's still a little lukewarm on that. What if we do this? What if we throw in a fifth in next year's draft? That'll sweeten the pot a little bit. It's actually pretty close. We'll do that, and we'll say a sixth in this year's draft. How about that? Getting a little complicated here, but still, I think it's good. They're playing hardball with us. All right, a second and 2 fifths, and that'll help us out here. I think that'll be good. So we're going to move back 10 spots, and then we get another pick 10 spots later. I think that's a good deal for us. So now hopefully our 2 guard prospects are on the board. I'd be happy with either of them. So we're not moving back too far. And remember, they were projected rounds 3 to 4. So especially that right guard that we were looking at, it would be a reach, but it wouldn't be as bad of a reach. And he should still be here, I would think. Let's take a look. I'm hopeful. And yeah, Rocco Spindler is still on the board. So let's just compare here. So A, awareness, A, impact, C, pass block, B, run block. And Dylan Fairchild doesn't seem to have quite the same level of upside. I think I'm going to go with my guy Rocco here. I mean, you can get yourself a guard whose name is Rocco. Notre Dame is a good school for offensive linemen. He's not the greatest in the world. He does come with normal dev, but still, I'm pretty happy with the pick here. For an early third, we will certainly take Rocco Spindler. Should be an instant starter for us. And now, of course, I say we have a pick 10 spots later. My short-term memory is shot, guys. We have a third in next year's draft that we picked up, so we're actually not picking again until round 4, pick 25. Here is a spot where, you know, you just kind of want to take a flyer on a guy. I don't know where exactly we would go with this pick, but let's just see who we might be looking at here. Not really seeing a whole lot of anything. Are there any guys that have A grades in their stats? Probably not. I mean, Roshan Harding has A to C zone. He could be worth a flyer. Let's take a look at him. So Roshan Harding does have A to C tackle and A to C zone coverage. I mean, yeah, for a late fourth, we'll take him. He does have hidden dev. All right, we'll take that. 82 speed, not the fastest in the world, but 90 excel, so maybe we do have something there in Roshan Harding. We'll see. And now we are towards the end of the draft. I mean, for a late 5th round pick, keep in mind also that another person out there somewhere created this draft class. They probably don't have any hidden gems snuck into the 5th, 6th, 7th. So it's just going to be scrubs anyways, like practice squad guys, low-level depth players. It doesn't matter a whole lot, so we're not going to get into all of that, but we are going to get into our draft recap here. So here's the draft recap, and Kool-Aid McKinstry coming into the league right off the bat, 78 overall. That's very good for a rookie player. That's about as good as you can hope for, especially a guy we got 14th. Landon Jackson's going to come in 73, so for a second-round pick, definitely happy with that. Rocco Spindler's a 69, nice, but not the kind of nice I was hoping for. Roshan Harding is just a 63, so he's going to need some work. And then the CPU did get us a couple mid-60s players, so that's fine. But definitely Kool-Aid McKinstry is the highlight. Don't forget, we also picked up a third in next year's draft, so certainly happy with that. And so just a quick look at the roster now with the rookies added in. So Rocco Spindler is going to be good enough to start for us, already a good chunk better than Will Fry. So, I mean, yeah, he's a 69, but I think he's got room to grow. He's got 2 established veterans on both sides of him. He can learn behind Quentin Nelson or alongside him, not behind him. They'll both be on the field at the same time. Unfortunately, couldn't get Marvin Harrison Jr. That would have been a lot of fun, but still happy with the receiving core. I think it's going to be a good team. Now, defensively, Happy with the linebacking core. Samson Ebukam, I actually am going to demote. Landon Jackson's going to be the starter for us. Hopefully we can get some good work out of him in year 1. And let's see here. I do want to get Kool-Aid McKinstry involved right away. He's actually going to be our CB1. Kenny Moore, of course, always more of a slot corner. So Kool-Aid McKinstry is going to be that guy right off the bat for us. So 2 starters on the defensive side of the ball. If these guys can meet their ceilings, really break out for us, then we've got a special draft class on our hands. So let's go ahead. We'll get to the midseason point. I think we are a playoff team. I don't know. I don't love the fact that Nick Cross is still just a 73 overall. Strong safety is a need for us at this point. I mean, we'll give him another year or 2. We'll see if we can get something out of him. Still just a young guy. But I do think it's a good team. I think we are playoff caliber. Let's hope so. Okay, and we do have a training camp standout message once again. And again, it is Kwity Paye. So maybe we do finally see that breakout from him. And what would this be for him? Year 3? Year 4? Let's see. He entered the league 2021. So this is 2024 now. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this would be year 4 for our guy Kwity Paye. So +3 power and finesse. I'm happy with that. Hopefully we can get something out of him this year. That would help us tremendously. Okay, so mid-season point, we are 4-2, coming off a close loss to the Jags. Don't love seeing us allow that many points. It is Trevor Lawrence. We do have some players now to worry about re-signing, and it is a pretty big and impressive list. So let's get right into that. We're going to have $95 million in cap space. It's going to be a lot less than that once we get some of these guys brought back. Anthony Richardson, I will fix that. Don't worry about that. But let's take a look here and see who do we want to prioritize. I think Jonathan Taylor is the main one for me. And running backs usually are not that expensive. So even a neutral deal, I mean, this is a bargain. Saquon Barkley turned down $14 million a year and we can get Jonathan Taylor for $11. I mean, that is a no-brainer to me. If we can get him to take a neutral deal, perfect. That's easy. So that's going to leave us with $82 million for next year. Kenny Moore, I will come back to. Michael Pittman. Now that one intrigues me. How much is he going to command? That's actually pretty cheap as well. So if I can get Pittman on a 4-year deal, fantastic. I will take that. So now we've got 69 left. And Kenny Moore just wants a 1-year deal. I think I would offer that. Okay, perfect. So we get Kenny Moore on a 1-year deal. Grover Stewart might walk. Isaiah Rodgers might walk. I'm okay with that. Julian Blackmon would like to come back, and he's cheap. I mean, $5 million. I don't think there's anything that we can do to replace him, so I'm happy to pay that. And we're actually still in pretty good shape here. I mean, the rest of these guys, they can go. I'm not seeing anyone I'm super impressed with. So Grover Stewart's going to be a tough one. Maybe he's a franchise tag candidate. It would still leave us with a good amount of money to spend in the offseason. And we know year 2 free agency is always loaded. Or we let him walk and we address that position in the draft. Either or, I'm happy with. Okay, so guys, we are a playoff team. We go 12-5, winning the AFC South. I'd like to see the overall conference standings, though. See, I mean, we were probably 1 or 2 games away from being a 1 seed. Oh my goodness. Yeah, looks like the Chiefs might have gotten us on a tiebreaker. It's a 3-way tie between us and the Steelers, but we are top of the AFC right now, guys. Let's look at the stats. What an incredible season. So offense ends up finishing 2nd in the league. That is amazing. And defense is 4th, bro. So 2 top 5 units. Amazing work there. 1st in points scored. Let's go. So here are your individual player stats. So Anthony Richardson, 4,500 passing yards, 34 touchdowns, 16 picks, passer rating of 103. That is a good season. It honestly isn't as good as his rookie year, I don't believe, in terms of efficiency. I want to say his passer ratings was north of 110. So a little bit of a drop off there, but still, I mean, you can't complain with that. Now running the ball, Jonathan Taylor, 1753 in terms of yards and 25 rushing scores, bro. Oh my goodness. Anthony Richardson, 8 rushing scores of his own. So the guy in total has 42 total touchdowns in year 2. Certainly happy about that. Now in the receiving game, I don't think we had a 1,000-yard receiver last year. This year we have 2, almost 4 actually. Mo Alley Cox Cox is just doing everything he can to keep Jelani Woods off the field. But Josh Downs is our leading receiver, 1,023 yards and 7 scores, exactly 1,000 yards and 10 scores. What a clean season for Alec Pierce, 979 and 8 for Michael Pittman. So we've got our receiving core for years to come. I mean, that's a great trio right there. Now, defensively, leading tackler is Myles Jack with 120. Definitely curious to see the sacks. We end up getting 21 from Kwity Paye. Are you kidding me, bro? Whoa. Okay, so we get 21 sacks out of Kwity Paye, and I guess technically by Madden standards this would be year 3 for him, but wow, man, what a breakout for our guy Kwity Paye. Let's go. 12 sacks for DeForest Buckner, 6.5 for the rookie Landon Jackson. Okay. I see you. 5.5 for Big Grover Stewart. Interceptions, we get 4 from Kenny Moore, 4 from the rookie Kool-Aid McKinstry, bro. Let's go. This is Sauce Gardner, Tariq Woolen level rookie season right there. 4 picks from the rookie. I am happy with that. 2 from the Maniac and 2 from Myles Jack. Man, what a season that this team had. Now we got to go on a run. So it is the Las Vegas Raiders again. Remember last year we beat them it ended up being a pretty close game. So they still have Josh Jacobs running the show on offense, and it's Jackson Dart at quarterback. He's given us trouble before, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure that we can take care of him. They don't have a great offense. They do have a great defense, Max Crosby. So can we get past the Raiders? Let's find out. And we do in another shootout, bro. 45-42 is your final. That is absolute insanity. We got to check the stats from that game. What is our defense doing, man? I mean, 4th in the league in terms of total defensive yardage, and we're letting up 42 points to little Jackson Dart. And I mean, he has a great debut. That's 6 touchdowns to 1 pick, although Anthony Richardson had that dog in him. 5 touchdowns and no picks. What a game out of him. I don't know how. Okay. I guess Gardner Minshew did attempt to pass for some reason. Okay. Taylor, 88 yards. Zach Moss did score. Devontae Adams had 210 yards and 4 touchdowns. Oh my goodness. That is an all-time playoff game by a receiver right there. A lot of guys found the end zone. Defense is going to be pretty uninspiring if I had to guess. Divine Diablo had 17 tackles. Max Crosby had a sack, and we did get 1 pick out of our guy, Kenny Moore. So, man, scary business in the wild card round, but I mean, that's an all-time playoff game right there. That would be a lot of fun. And we're moving on again, so we got to see if our defense can get something done against the 12-5 Pittsburgh Steelers. So 2 of the best teams in the AFC. This is the team that actually held the number 1 overall pick. They went and got themselves their guy, Marvin Harrison Jr. So can he help his new team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, against his dad's old team? They do pass 58% of the time. I'm going to focus on that. They're 2nd in the league in passing yardage. And their defense is nothing to sneeze at either. They've got a great passing defense. I'm sure TJ Watt has a lot to do with that. So we're going to focus on that. I don't know if I want to go blitz counter because it says they only blitz 4% of the time. Well, that's man blitz. They zone blitz 36% of the time. So let's see. So they're blitzing 40% of the time in total. I think blitz counter is still our best bet here. Keep Anthony Richardson upright, and let's see if we can get ourselves to our first conference championship game. And unfortunately, for the 2nd straight year, our season is going to end in the divisional round. 31-24. All that work we put into the defense in the offseason definitely paid off. Regular season, we had an exceptional unit, but here in the playoffs, letting up 31 plus in both games, we actually did outgain them in total yardage. So Anthony Richardson, very clean, no picks in the playoffs. Kenny Pickett, I mean, not a great game whatsoever. How were they getting it done? It wasn't in the run game either. I genuinely don't understand. He did have a rushing score. I mean, let's look at the box score here. So it was another scenario just like last season where we found ourselves behind early, late second half comeback, and just we can't get it done. So we're coming out flat in the first half. I mean, I don't get it. I genuinely don't. And 16-3 at halftime, hard to overcome that. We did outplay them in the second half, 21-15, but ultimately it's just not going to be good enough. And I mean, it's crazy. Like 2 picks for Kenny Pickett. He didn't have a great game. Of course, it's probably TJ Watt's 4 sacks that did the job against us, and we couldn't really get to Kenny Pickett. We did force him into a couple mistakes. Our linebackers got some picks, but ultimately disappointed with how the season went. I was really thinking this would be our first conference championship game, but no, it is going to be the Steelers moving on. And so a little bit of a silver lining, here are your end of season results. As you can see, we took home 2 awards. Jonathan Taylor is your Offensive Player of the Year, and Kwity Paye is Defensive Player of the Year, so definitely happy with that. Crazy how they take Marvin Harrison Jr. first overall, but for the Steelers, Jamar Traynor is Offensive Rookie of the Year. Very interesting there. And they do beat us in the divisional round, but they can't move on to the championship as Mahomes has yet another ring, taking down the Eagles once again. So he must be public enemy number 1 in Philadelphia right now. But we are moving on. And now is really our chance if we want to re-sign Grover Stewart. He's played solid for us. I really would like to get him in on a 1-year deal if I can. I'll even bump up the money a bit. I mean, I'll pay him like $15 million. We'll say $14 million for a season. We'll see if that will get the job done for him. Let's see, a 1 year, I mean, that's a pretty hefty contract for 1 year. All right, we'll take that. And that still gives us flexibility, $70 million to spend, bring in some new guys. I think Isaiah Rodgers can probably go since we've got Kool-Aid McKinstry, Darius Rush. I mean, he's a solid player, but no interest. Zach Moss, I mean, for a backup running back, what's he going to cost us? He's not going to see the field all that much. I'm fine with inserting a rookie in there. It doesn't have to be Zach Moss. Rigoberto Sanchez, I've got a soft spot for him as a player. I mean, if we just go very player-friendly, we're not even going to notice that. He's still going to test out free agency. That's crazy. All right, well, I guess we're going to need... What's the franchise tag for a punter? I mean, do we franchise tag Rigoberto Sanchez? Yeah, why not? It's $4 million, ultimately. That's fine with me. I think the Colts actually are the last team to have used the franchise tag on a punter. Fact check me on this and let me know if I'm right or if I'm wrong, but I do vaguely remember them using the franchise tag on Pat McAfee. I'm about 99% sure that this is something that happened somewhere between, like, I want to say like 2012 to 2015, somewhere in that range. And then he did retire shortly thereafter, like 2016, 2017 maybe. Very rough numbers off the top of my head, but I do feel like Pat McAfee got the franchise tag at one point. Please do let me know in the comments. I'd be very curious. So heading into the offseason, we know, of course, this is when free agency is going to be the most loaded. Let's take a look at the team. So Anthony Richardson has grown into a 92 overall superstar player. That is incredible. As far as his weapons go, Pittman's a 90, Josh Downs is an 84, and Alec Pierce is an 84. We've got the receiver position locked down. Jelani Woods looks like he's finally ready to overtake Mo Alley Cox. I know tight ends take a little bit of time. We'll be patient with him. Rocco Spindler up to a 77. He is getting some boost for morale, but still, I'm happy with that. Ryman hasn't quite grown the way that I would want him to. If I could get a premier left tackle, I'm not opposed to it. And Ryan Kelly is getting up there in age, so I'd be looking to maybe get younger at center as well. Oh my goodness, though. So Kwity Paye, they went ahead and gave him X Factor. He's actually a 91. He's up to a 94 with morale right now. That's insane. Landon Jackson, they gave him Superstar Dev. He's an 81, playing up to an 83. And Kool-Aid McKinstry is an 89, bro. In year 2, are you serious? With Superstar X Factor Dev. We've got 4 X Factors on this defense. Oh my goodness. But seriously, we are probably going to want to move on from Zaire Franklin if we can. Leonard is getting up there in age. We're probably going to want to go ahead and upgrade from Nick Cross if we can. But aside from that, man, we're looking really good. Like, this is a great team now. I mean, I really feel like we don't even need to add anything to be Super Bowl contenders. Like, I really feel like give this team a full season, they're going to do some work. But it is time to see now, once we get to the off season, who is out there on the market. It's going to be some really, really good players. So hopefully they're going to fit our needs. We don't need our usual targets. We don't need a Nick Bosa. We don't need a Justin Jefferson. Show me a good safety out here. Show me a safety or a linebacker who can tackle, play a little zone coverage for us. and it's actually a little bit weaker than it normally is. Now let me do a quick analysis here, see who we might actually want to bring in. Alright, so these are going to be my targets. Logan Wilson, I feel, doesn't really need much explanation. Very happy to see him out here. A superstar level player would immediately step in and upgrade from Zaire Franklin in a major way. I love Zaire Franklin, but as far as our franchise goes, this is going to be a great move for us. Micah Hyde, you might be a little bit confused, but I think if we move him to strong safety, it's a one-year deal. I just think he's better than Nick Cross. I get it. I understand Nick Cross's age. I love his potential in real life, but ultimately, our defense just is falling apart in the playoffs. We could really use a nice veteran back there. And Corey Bajorquez, get ourselves the best available punter. I think if we go 3 for 3 here, we're looking really strong heading into next season, and I think we will. Yes, so we get Logan Wilson, Micah Hyde, and Corey Bajorquez. Now let me see if I move Micah Hyde to strong safety, what that does for his overall rating. Okay, so I did just go ahead, change his position to strong safety. So now Micah Hyde, 83, but that is lowered because of morale. So let's take a look at that updated defensive unit. So here is the new look Colts defense. So Micah Hyde, that's a pretty good jump up from what we were getting out of Nick Cross. And Logan Wilson, compare that, an 88 to a 78, plus you get that superstar dev. That's going to help us out a lot. So this defense now has 4 X Factors and 2 superstars on it. The offense does not have a single X, actually they do, Jonathan Taylor, and 2 superstar players in Quentin Nelson and Anthony Richardson. So, I mean, we're looking great heading into next season. Like, this is one of the strongest overall rosters I think I've put together. If we don't win a Super Bowl, I will be severely disappointed. Okay, now we are going to have a 5th-year option decision to make here. I'm going to assume this is for Quiddy Pay. I think so, yes. Okay, so let's see what the assistant GM has to say. I think he could be a key building block for us down the road. Okay, yeah, so usually the assistant GM says, oh, he didn't see the field last year, but thankfully the assistant GM noticed the 21 sacks that we got out of Quiddy Pay. So yes, he will get a fully guaranteed 5th-year option, and I am more than happy to pick that up for our guy Quiddy Pay. So really we'll have him for the whole rebuild. It'll just be 1 year. We might have to worry about him. Maybe we franchise tag him. But heading into the draft, I mean, we're looking good. I can't really think of any major urgent needs that we have. I do want to check the team's salaries, see whose contracts might be coming due. Let's look specifically players with 1 year left. DeForest Buckner, so DT could be one for us. Kenny Moore, we just picked up a 1-year deal for him. Micah Hyde, Grover Stewart, so that's 2 DTs. And Ryan Kelly. Okay. Yeah, so it's going to be DT and center are going to be our main areas of concern in the draft, but I think we can address both of those hopefully. We could also look into trading back as well, accumulating some picks for next year, because it's a pretty late 1st round pick. And these are not real life prospects for the first time, so it's going to be a whole new CPU generated class. Curious to see who is out here, who's available, but I would say center, DT, and a trade back are really our main areas of focus here. Let's see what we can do. So I haven't really done any scouting to see who is available. I suppose it would be worth looking to see if there's anyone that we might consider trading up for versus waiting until we get until our selection and then not having anyone available. So first let's check out the centers. Let's see what kind of center class we're looking at. Not a good one whatsoever. Joey Pierce is intriguing. I definitely do like him. He's projected around 3 to 4. So if we trade back, maybe we could get like an early 2nd and take him there. It would be a bit of a reach, but I do like him. And Matias Marino is not horrible, I guess, but I really like Joey Pierce a lot. Let me just look at his numbers. Obviously, I don't think we'd consider him in the 1st. Oh my goodness. Okay, so fastest in the class, 29 reps on the bench. I mean, just about the most athletic center there is in this class. I really like Joey Pierce. I would for sure take him with our 2nd. Excuse me. I don't know if he'd be there, though, that late. That's the thing. Now let's look at the DTs. So, actually, several guys here. Not bad at all. So it's a pretty deep DT class. I'm sure we could get at least one of them. I think I'm definitely fine with waiting. Let's get to our pick. later on in the first and see who we have available. So let's do that here, and we'll see what we're looking at. So here we are, round 1 pick. This is 28, I believe, if I'm reading that correctly. 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. That feels a little bit late considering we lost in the divisional. But I don't know, maybe my math is just off. I'm doing it off the top of my head. So still a good number of DTs here. Let's see who looks the best. So Marshall Edison does have A power moves. He's the only one I'm seeing with a guaranteed A in anything. Is there anyone else? Roman Robertson does have A tackling. And Ben Nash has A finesse moves, but F power moves, so I don't like that. Marshall Edison looks solid. Let's take a look at him. So he's 22. And pretty solid athlete. I mean, not going to blow you away by any means. Let's take a look around him, though, and see if there are any, like, mega athletes. I would certainly consider them. Let's look at TJ Bynes. He doesn't really blow you away in any categories, but if this guy's like an athletic freak, I'd consider it. He's not. I don't think TJ Bynes is going to be any good. But let's see here. There was one guy who had, so Charleston Larson is just B's across the board. How is he as an athlete? Because, I mean, he is just solid. Ooh, okay. I mean, third fastest, the strongest. I like Charleston Larson, man. I mean, he's solid in everything. He's just 21 years old. I think he's the move here. I think we go with Charleston Larson. He is going to have normal dev, but 94 strength is pretty good. So I think we've got ourselves at least one DT of the future there. Now, I am going to take a gamble here and hope that the guy that we want at center is there later on in the second. I'm going to be pretty hurt if not. But man, major hold your breath moment here. And let's just see, because this is the guy that I really wanted. So I'm going to feel like a fool if he's not on the board. Let's just sort by center. And Joey Pierce is there. So a late second, it's a little bit of a reach. But again, 22 years old out of Clemson, very good athlete. I think that's a no-brainer, and he is going to come with hidden dev. I'm not surprised at that whatsoever. I think Joey Pierce is an amazing selection for us at that slot, and we should have 2/3 as well. And I believe we are. So round 3, pick 20, and then round 3, pick 28. So let's go ahead and take this opportunity. We've addressed really 2 of our big needs. Could we get a second in next year's draft? Would that be too much to ask? I think it would. What about, could we get a couple thirds? I'm not seeing anything. Yeah, this isn't great. What draft are we in right now? 2024? Yeah, we are. Okay. I was really hoping to see if we could get 2/3. We could get a 3rd and a 4th in next year's draft. I think I'm going to go ahead. We'll take that from Cincinnati. I don't mind that. I did see the Bills would do a 3rd, a 4th, and a 7th, but I mean, who cares about that? And we are going to have one more pick here in the 3rd, so perhaps we go ahead and add ourselves another DT. Just to really round things out here, and I think we could consider this draft class a major success. I think I'd be happy with that. So let's take a look here and see. Again, we know it's deep. So let's see. I mean, Jeremy Conway looks solid. He is going to come with that A to C power move. If he's even a decent athlete, I think he's our guy. 22 years old, also another Clemson player. Yeah, he's solid. We'll take Jeremy Conway here. Normal dev, 90 strength, but it gives us some flexibility there. I'd be open to bringing back DeForest Buckner on a 1-year deal, but I think Grover Stewart is gone. So this gives us everything that we need. So now let's get to our draft recap and see how we did. So this is going to be our draft recap, and how did we do? Pretty well, I would say. So Charleston Larson's coming in 73. He's also not going to have to start right away. Joey Pierce is a 72, so he can sit and learn behind Ryan Kelly for a year. Jeremy Conway is a 67. We did get a 69 running back, Antoine Rhodes. Okay, I'll take that. I'm not overly upset with the draft class. We picked up a couple picks in next year's draft as well, so I think it's a success. I think we're good. And heading into the season, we already pretty much know what the starting roster looks like. I'll go ahead and upgrade our players here, and we'll get to the midseason point. I am hoping to be, like 4-2, 5-1. If we have a bye, that's going to change things as well. But I genuinely feel like we are strong Super Bowl contenders this year. Now it is time to prove it. And this is what you want to see. We are 7-0, bro. Let's go. I gotta see how we got here, though. Let's take a look at the schedule just for a moment. So we beat the Jags pretty handily, won a close one against Tennessee, beat the Chiefs by 10. That's no easy task. Destroyed the Dolphins, destroyed the Titans. That's what you want to see right there. Already getting the sweep on them. Beat the Steelers easily from their victory against us last year in the playoffs. Beat the Patriots easily. That's what you like to see. You beat the good teams and you destroy the bad teams. That is the mark of a true contender right there. You get yourself a few blowout wins during the season and you're looking good come January. So we are on a crash course for that #1 seed. We're going to have a boatload of cap space. I don't know how Drew Lock got on the team. But we're going to have a decision to make on DeForest Buckner. Kenny Moore probably can walk. Micah Hyde probably can. That was really just like a one-year rental. And man, guys, we're going to have all this money to spend with really not a lot of players to bring back. Let's see what we can do to get DeForest Buckner back in here. That's actually looking like a pretty cheap deal. How old is he? 30? Yeah, that's $17 million. I would do that. I would do a one-year deal. Perfect. All right, so we're going to get DeForest Buckner back on another one-year rental, still with $84 million to play with. Kenny Moore, he's been good for us. That's the thing. If we could get him, I would take another one-year deal on Kenny Moore. That's fine. Still, who's really going to be out there that we're going to spend $72 million on? Grover Stewart, I think it's finally time he can walk. Micah Hyde can probably walk. I'd like to get back Matt Gay. Ryan Kelly can go. Zaire Franklin can go. Ebukam can go. We're not going to franchise tag a punter again. And yeah, guys, we're looking good. We're looking really, really good right now. Now we have to capitalize. Let's get to the playoffs. Imagine if we go undefeated. I've never had that before. I think my absolute best I've seen is 15-2. Let me go ahead. We'll upgrade our players here to boost our chances, but man, it's still alive. I don't think it'll happen, but let's get there and see. Hopefully we don't fall apart. Hopefully we are the 1 seed. That is like my floor as far as expectations go at this point. That's crazy to say, but it's the truth. Okay, so exactly what we had hoped for, pretty much exactly what we expected. Couple losses in the second half of the season, but still finishing things out with a 14-3 record, earning ourselves the #1 seed in the conference. Now, this Colts team, we got to learn from the mistakes of the 2000s Colts teams. They would have these insane seasons, 13-3, 14-2, and then they would lose to the Chargers or the Jets or the Patriots. It took forever for Manning to get his first ring, even longer for him to get his second as a member of the Broncos. So we got to make a run this year. Weird to see Aaron Rodgers leading the league in passing yards, so Caleb Williams just biding his time on the bench, I guess. But let's take a look at our stats. I'd have to imagine it was another stellar year for this team. So offense first in the league, best in the NFL. That's crazy. Anthony Richardson passer rating, we'll get to that in a second. And a top 10 defense. So let's see here. Anthony Richardson, 4,500 yards, 43 touchdowns, 9 picks. Passer rating of 118. Those are MVP numbers right there. Let's look at the rushing too. Just 2 rushing scores, but 400 yards on the ground. So ultimately, almost 5,000 yards of total offense and 45 touchdowns. That's insane. Taylor, 1,800 yards, 22 scores. Incredible. Jarrett Patterson scores 6 times. Okay. Receiving, no 1,000-yard receivers, but Jelani Woods does break out, 946 and 9, 923 and 7 for Josh Downs, 883 and 8 for Alec Pierce. This just isn't a high-volume passing offense as far as getting your receivers' numbers. But let's take a look here and see. So 143 tackles for Miles Jack. Interested to see the sacks again. We got 16 from Kwity Paye, another great season, 10 from Defoe, 9.5 from Landon Jackson, so stepping it up even more in year 2, 6.5 from Grover Stewart, the soon-to-be former Colt, and we got 5 picks from Kenny Moore, 3 from the addition Logan Wilson. Kool-Aid McKinstry cooled off a little bit, but I'm just going to assume teams threw at him a little bit less. and I'm happy with these results. It's another great season for this team, very happy with it. And now, is this the year where this team finally gets over the hump? We did just upgrade everyone. This team is up to a 91 overall. That's crazy. Who are we going to see in the divisional round? This has been our kryptonite. It's going to be the Houston Texans coming in with a 9-8 record and 80 overall team. I mean, this should be, in theory, a cupcake matchup to get ourselves to the conference championship game. But a great quarterback matchup, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, with the playoffs on the line. And what are we going for? A hard-hitting brawl or a chess match? We're going to go with a chess match. This is going to get +5 play rec for players on both teams. I don't know exactly how that will bode for us, but I'd imagine pretty well because we have a really good defense. I mean, we've got them cleared in terms of overall ratings, but you always see this for some reason. It just doesn't work out. And they've got a good offense. They only run it 41% of the time, so I'm going to focus on, I guess, Fed Castano here. All right. And excuse me, it wouldn't have been Bryce Young. It would have been CJ Stroud. I don't know where I was getting Bryce Young from. My mistake. They do have a good defense. So we've got our work cut out for us here. At least that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to hype them up. Classic Patriot strategy. Bill Belichick school of thought. It's a great team, great opponents. We're not taking this for granted by any means. Can we get ourselves back into, for the first time, the conference championship game? Big hold your breath moment right here. And we do. 42-21, we take care of them with ease. And we're going to see the Las Vegas Raiders for the third time now in these playoffs. So a very easy win there in the divisional round. And now we get a conference championship game matchup with the Las Vegas Raiders. But first, let's just take a look here. So, Anthony Richardson, a perfect passer rating, 158.3, 362 yards, 5 touchdowns, no picks, long of 78. He was slinging it. And Theo Costanzo, not a good game whatsoever, forced him into 2 turnovers. Taylor, 85 yards, nobody touched the end zone rushing. Alec Pierce, 3 catches for 171 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had the 78-yarder. He was just in dog mode all day. I don't know how Robert Woods is still in the league. Michael Pittman scored twice. Let's take a look here at the sacks. I think we got at least 1 or 2. Yeah, both of our DTs got in there, and I know we had those 2 interceptions. They came from Logan Wilson and Julius Brents. Okay, perfect. So we are now moving on. It is conference championship time. Let's go. And we do have an update from our playoff rivals press conference a week ago. I'm hoping this will give us some kind of boost heading into this matchup with the Raiders because we definitely want everything that we can get. So Micah Hyde is having a heart-to-heart with Frank Reich. And we're going to have +5 hit power on the defense for the next game. +5 staff points, which I'll certainly take. We've pretty much maxed them out at this point, spent everything that we can, but I'm happy with that. So now we get the Raiders, and I think we are undefeated against them. They do have Justin Herbert now. That is interesting. And Max Crosby, of course. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my blitz counter here. So, man, Anthony Richardson and Justin Herbert with the Super Bowl on the line. Real life Justin Herbert has not seen playoff success thus far. Of course, his most recent outing against the Jacksonville Jaguars, that massive comeback. Fun fact, I share this in like every video that I can bring it up, but I was at that game. Most fun NFL game I've been to. Even though I am a Colts fan, I still had an absolute blast there. Let me know in the comments, what's your favorite game you've ever been to? I always love having this conversation with people. I love knowing what games that people have been to. I was at that game. Other games I can think of off the top of my head, I was at the Colts-Patriots, the fake punt game in 2015, if anyone remembers that. Got to witness that monstrosity in person. I was also at Colts Patriots in 2021. Remember that game where Jonathan Taylor broke off the long, I think it was like a 70-yard touchdown to ice the game at the end. Loudest stadium I've ever been to. Outside of maybe that Jags game, it was close though. Lucas Oil was rocking that night. That was when the Colts had like a 98% chance to make the playoffs. All they had to do was beat either the Raiders or the Jags. Keep in mind the Jags were terrible that season. They lost against both of them. And that's how their season ended. That was the beginning of the end for this guy right here, Frank Reich. But in video game world, we are in the conference championship game, so let's get right into the play-by-play. And here we go. So the Raiders are going to get the ball first. Mario Williams will run things out. Sacked on the first play by Landon Jackson, 2nd and 16. Knocked away by Miles Jack, 3rd and 16. Devontae Adams has a 14-yard gain, but ultimately it's a 3-and-out for Las Vegas. Colts will take over at their own 35. 1st and 10 now for the Colts. Richardson to Taylor for 6 at 2nd and 4. Taylor gains 1, 3rd and 3 at the 42. He gains 5, 1st and 10 at the 47. Taylor will gain 6 at 2nd and 4, past midfield. He gains 4 again. It's 3rd and 1 now. Taylor will gain 7. They're at the 37, 1st and 10. Richardson will pick up 5 on the ground. It's 2nd and 5 at the 32. Taylor gains 5. It's 3rd and inches. And Anthony Richardson to Jonathan Taylor. It's a 27-yard score. The two guys who ran that drive, ultimately, they get the score. 7-0 here. 3:11 left in the first. 1st and 10 Raiders after the touchback. Josh Jacobs will gain 5 at 2nd and 5. Hunter Renfrow has a 21-yard catch. They're at midfield. Robert Tonyan gains 8 at 2nd and 2. Penalty against the offense brings up 2nd and 12. Knocked away by Wilson. It's 3rd and 12 at the 49. And Michael Mayer has 7 yards. It's 4th and 5 at the 44. And they go for it and they fail. Colts take over at the 44. Taylor will gain 6 at 2nd and 4 at midfield. Richardson throws it away. 3rd and 4 at the 50. And it is dropped by Alec Pierce. So big chance there for the Colts to really make a statement. Ultimately, sigh of relief for the Raiders. Josh Jacobs will gain 8 after the punt. It's 2nd and 2. Michael Mayer gains 10. They're at the 38. Mayer again for 9. Jared Goldberg has a 4-yard catch. 1st and 10 at the 50. Jacobs gains 6. 20 seconds left in the first. 2nd and 4. Jacoby Myers, 7-yard catch. They're at the 37. And we have entered the second quarter. It is 2nd and 2. Josh Jacobs, 7-yard catch. They're at the 23. Herbert will gain 1. It's 2nd and 9. Jacobs gains 8. It's 3rd and 2. And Herbert will throw it away. So what do they do here? 4th and 2. They gain 6. It's 1st and goal at the 9. George Fields gains 2. 2nd and goal at the 6. Zamir White has a rushing score. It is 7-7 now. Daniel Carlson ties it up. 4:52 left in the half. Now the Colts, how do they respond? 1st and 10, Richardson. He throws it away. It's 2nd and 10 for the Colts. Hits Alec Pierce for 13. They're at the 38. Penalty against the defense. It's 12 yards. They're past midfield with that. Taylor will gain 7. They're at the 39. 2nd and 3. Taylor gains 7. They're at the 32. 1st and 10. Taylor will gain 5. He's had a good game so far. 2nd and 5. Taylor, it's a 16-yard catch. They're at the 11. Taylor will gain 8. He's been on fire this drive, and he scores on the next play. It's a 3-yard rushing score. Jonathan Taylor is single-handedly taking over Las Vegas right now. It is 14-7 with 2:47 left in the half. Zamir White will lose 2 after scoring on the last drive. 2nd and 12, he gains back 2. It's 3rd and 11. Hunter Renfrow gains 25, of course. They're at midfield. Herbert will throw it away. 2-minute warning approaching. Knocked away by Wilson. It's 3rd and 10. And he throws it away. And they will punt. Good punt. 2nd and 9 at the 6. Richardson will throw it away. It's 3rd and 9 quickly. Penalty against the offense makes it 3rd and 12. And Taylor will gain just 6. So they're going to punt from the 8. And that is not a great punt. Raiders will take over at the 47. Knocked away by Leonard at 2nd and 10. Renfrow gains 27. They're at the 21. Myers will gain 6 at 2nd and 4. Sacked by Landon Jackson, his 2nd of the game, 3rd and 8. He throws it away. It's 4th and 8. And the field goal is good. Colts still lead 14-10. 54 seconds in all 3 timeouts. Time to do something here. 1st and 10. Richardson will gain 8 on the ground. 2nd and 2. He hits Jelani Woods for 6. They're at the 37. He throws it away. It's 2nd and 10. Hits Pierce for 17. 1 timeout left. They're at the 46. Hits Woods for 4. 2nd and 6. Throws it away. It's 3rd and 6 at the 42. He gains 3. And they run out of time there, but they will get the ball to start the second half. So good news there for the Colts. 1st and 10. Hits Pittman for 13, his first catch. Hits Pittman again for 14. They're past midfield. Taylor will gain 5 at 2nd and 5. They're at the 42. Richardson gains 3. 3rd and 2 at the 40. Taylor gains 5, keeps the drive alive at the 34. Taylor again will gain 4. 2nd and 6. He gains 6, brings up 3rd and inches for the Colts. Richardson will lose 2. 4th and 2, and Taylor loses 2. Why? I guess aggressive, but the Raiders take over. Herbert throws it away. It's 2nd and 10. He throws it away again. 3rd and 10. Please watch Hunter Renfrow. And they do, but they don't watch Davante Adams, who gains 14. Knocked away by Logan Wilson on the next play. It's 2nd and 10. Knocked away by Kenny Moore. 3rd and 10. Got to get off the field, and they won't. There's Hunter Renfrow. He gains 13. They're past midfield. Sacked by Buckner on the next play. It's 2nd and 18. Sacked again by Kwity Paye. It's 3rd and 25. And hits Renfrow for 13. It's 4th and 12, though. I don't think they're going to go for that. Another great punt down to the 4. Amazing. Colts, 96 yards to go. They'll start off with 4 from Taylor. It's 2nd and 6. Taylor, 8-yard reception. They're at the 16, knocked away by Julius Stokes. It's 2nd and 10. Hits Josh Downs for 16. That's, I believe, his first catch. Taylor will gain 5 at 2nd and 5 at the 38. Jelani Woods has a 7-yard gain. They're at the 45. Taylor gains 6 at 2nd and 4. Past midfield. Pittman gains 8. 35 seconds left in the half. Taylor gains 4 at 2nd and 6. Third quarter winding down. Taylor gains 5. It's 3rd and inches. We might miss a play here. It is 4th and 2, and they lose 2 again. What are we doing? Jacoby Myers gains 6. Raiders at the 41. Jacobs gains 4. It's a first down. Jacobs gains 6. Colts have let the Raiders stay in this one. Tunyon gains 8. They're at the Colts 42. Jacobs will gain 8. They're already in field goal range, although that won't help them. He gains 7. They're at the 27, 1st and 10. Zamir White gains 6 at 2nd and 4 at the 20. Myers will get a first down, gain of 6. At the 15, Davante Adams will score. And I'm not sure what happened there. It said it was a touchdown, but I don't know what happened. I could have sworn, unless my eyes are really failing me, the Raiders don't convert. Let me know in the comments what happened, but the Raiders do not score there. Colts have a 3rd and 1 now. Richardson will gain 1. It's 1st and 10 at the 14. Hits Pierce for 14. 1st and 10, he throws it away. Still confused by what happened on that Raiders drive. I swore I saw Davante Adams score. 3rd and 10. He throws it away. The Raiders will have yet another chance. The Colts really have not had a great day on offense. Pretty good defense, though. 1st and 10 for the Raiders. Herbert will throw it away. 2nd and 10. Hits Renfrow for 12. He's been busy today. Myers has a 5-yard gain. 2:12 left to play. Sacked by Kwity Paye. 3rd and 11. It's 4th and 11, and he hits Davante Adams for 26. Oh, no. He throws it away. It's 2nd and 10. And it is intercepted by Julius Brents. Oh my goodness, Taylor will gain 12. Raiders going to have to start using timeouts. Jarrett Patterson gains 5 at 2nd and 5. Pittman will lose 3. 3rd and 8 for the Colts. Richardson throws it away. I don't think they're in field goal range. And they will punt. The Raiders have another chance now. Oh my goodness, this clock management. Penalty against the defense. Oh no, 39 seconds left. Davante Adams will gain 8. They're at midfield already. Adams again for 9. What is happening? Renfrow gains 8. Renfrow again for 8. They're at the 27. 25 seconds left. Dropped by Mayer. 22 seconds to play. Mayer has 18. Oh no. Touchdown Raiders. Are you serious? 10 seconds left to play. Oh my goodness. 9 seconds left. Sacked by Crosby. Crosby hurt on the play. Knocked away by Bennett. 3rd and 17, knocked away by Diablo. And that's it. So the Colts choke this one away in an absolute heartbreaker. and the Las Vegas Raiders and Justin Herbert will be moving on to the Super Bowl. 14 points from what I believe was the number 2 offense in the league, and we are really going to let Josh McDaniels play for a Super Bowl. Not a great game by Richardson, not a good game by the offense whatsoever outside of Jonathan Taylor. And man, just the clock management, we choked this thing away, guys. What a disappointment. So obviously disappointed by those results. I am going to be interested to see, though, if the Raiders can pull it off in the Super Bowl. I guess it would be the closest thing to a moral victory we can get out of this. It's taken its sweet time to give us the results. And no, they are also going to lose 14-21 to the Chicago Bears. That would have been a Super Bowl rematch. That was the Indianapolis Colts' first and only Super Bowl win as the Indianapolis Colts. And let's just take a quick look here at your yearly awards. So this does look like the second straight year where Jonathan Taylor has won Offensive Player of the Year. I suppose we've got that going for us. Justin Fields is your Super Bowl MVP. And now it's time to see how much of this core, if any, we want to bring back that we haven't already. I think Grover Stewart can go. Micah Hyde definitely can. He's regressed. Let's go ahead. Let's see if we can get Matt Gay back. Good kicker. Perfect. Okay, so he is around for the remainder of the video. Let's see if there's anyone else we'd like to bring back here. Ryan Kelly can walk. Ebukam can walk. Zaire Franklin can go. Let's see if we can get Rigoberto Sanchez back in here. We'll break the bank for old Rigo. Alright, perfect. So he's happy with that. We are going to have $90 million in cap space, and we have 2 years left of this rebuild. I'm not seeing anyone else here that needs to come back. We're losing some depth for sure, but this is depth that we can fill in the draft. These are players that we can upgrade upon in free agency. And speaking of free agency, let's go ahead. Let's get ourselves to the offseason here. Let's look at the roster and let's see what our needs are heading into what would actually be 2025 or 2026, I want to say. It's a year off because of the way things work. We technically start things off in 2022 with 2023 rosters, if that makes sense. And of course, we have to fill out our staff. So I have to go through the menial task of hiring a new coordinator, and then just paying and refilling out whatever tree I had. If you guys play franchise mode, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, be glad that you don't. It's just tedious. I'm glad that they added offensive and defensive coordinators in Madden, but the way that they work is just so frustrating. Anyways, let's take a look at the roster. So our needs heading into this season to finally get us over the hump. Let's take a look at them here. Our offense struggled in the AFC Championship game. And why is that? We've got a great quarterback, great running back, great receiving core. Our line is fine. Is that an 88 that Braden Smith is? I think it is. We've got 2 young guys starting on the offensive line. These are 2 guys that we drafted. I don't feel incentivized to replace them. Bernard Ryman, if there's a great left tackle out there, I'd finally be ready to move on from him. Jelani Woods, I'm happy with what he's given us. Defensively, the defensive line needs some depth. We're fine on starters, but we definitely need some depth. Larson is going to take over as a starter in year 2. We need a new strong safety again. Nick Cross is just simply not that guy. We could use a little bit of depth in the secondary, perhaps. Yeah, I think we could at least use a body or 2. So it's really going to be depth. I mean, if there are any like elite prospects out there, I'm open to the idea of bringing them in. So we've got that in our mind, depth primarily, or really A-list level talent, superstar players, depending on what position they play. Let's also look at our team salaries. Are there any guys here who we might want to get creative with and replace this season? So Kwity Paye, I think Kwity Paye is someone we're going to have to re-sign. He has broken out in a major way. Either that or he's getting the franchise tag. DT's a need. Ooh, right tackle's a sneaky need. Alec Pierce is coming up and Josh Downs. That's not right, though. Josh Downs should have another year. Well, no, you know what? Because then that would have meant that we had to negotiate with Alec Pierce last season. So we will leave that as is. But anyways, it is time to go ahead and look and see who is available out here. We're going to have some tough decisions to make, so I don't know if I want to spend a ton of money, but let's see who's here. So Jalen Hurts is out there. Aaron Jones, oh man, okay. Yeah, unfortunately, after Jalen Hurts, it's wide receiver, running back city. We don't really need Greg Newsome. I mean, how would he fit into our current room of corners? So we have Kool-Aid McKinstry, Kenny Moore, who we just brought back on a 1-year deal, and Julius Brents, who's just a 78. I mean, that'd be kind of fun, wouldn't it? He's not super expensive. We have 2 years left. Kenny Moore is more of a slot guy anyways. You have Kool-Aid McKinstry and Greg Newsome on the outside with Kenny Moore playing the slot. And Julius Brents has depth. That's a really solid room right there. We could use depth on the defensive line, but I don't want to hinder the growth of the guy that we just brought in the first round last year. So I don't know if I want to bring in DJ Reader necessarily. Deron Payne is out there. A lot of corners. Man, this is tough. So we know we need that depth on the defensive line. So let's look and see what kind of ends are out there in free agency. Yeah, it's not really a lot of anything, but let's see. I think Bilal Nichols is someone we could bring in for the cheap on a 2-year deal. I think he'd even take a 1-year deal. No one's offering him anything right now. It would just give us something there. He'd be like our new Samson Ebukam, basically. Not see the field a whole lot, but just give us some valuable depth. Let's look at the DT spot. We'll go down to kind of like the lower level players, because I don't want anyone that's going to come in and start over my 2nd-year guy. So we'll bring in, how about Malik Collins on a cheap deal? A 1-year, that's fine with me. We're just really filling out the roster right now, kind of replacing some of the guys that we lost. Let's look at the right end spot. See if there's anyone here. There's Samson Ebukam. You know what? He's been nice for us. I would offer him a 1-year deal. He's been fine. He's not made me angry in any way. Not that he's really seen the field enough to do that regardless. Are there good, strong safeties out there? There's Taylor Rapp and Julian Love. I mean, how much better is Julian Love than Nick Cross? An 82 versus a 76. That's actually a pretty decent difference. And Nick Cross is our only strong safety on the roster. So Julian Love is pretty cheap. Would he want this type of deal? Would he take this? Where does this put us on his list? I mean, we're up there with him. I'd be willing to even pay a little bit above market. If I go player friendly, where does that land me in the Julian Love sweepstakes? Let's see here. So that does get us top of his list. So this could actually end up being a pretty solid free agent class. I'm sure I'm missing something. I'm sure there's one position that I talked about that I've already neglected. That's the ADHD for you guys. But this would be actually a pretty solid free agent class. Kind of reload a little bit and even add in a couple new starters. I think my game might have just froze on me. So that's, nope, it didn't actually. Got to give EA a little bit of credit. Malik Collins. Now it'll freeze for Malik Collins. No, he's being stingy. But we did get Greg Newsome and Julian Love. Okay, we got everyone that we wanted. That's our free agent class, guys. I'm happy with that. That is more than fine with me. So a new and updated look at the roster, and let's see what we might want to look at heading into the draft. So players whose contracts are going to be up. Braden Smith is one of them. I think I would like to extend him. Alec Pierce is someone, if there's a good receiver in the first, maybe I could be persuaded into going receiver and maybe working on an understudy for him. I love Alec Pierce, but at the same time, you can't afford to pay everyone. We have to pay him and Josh Downs. Keep that in mind as well. In fact, it might even be worth going out into free agency and getting ourselves a wide receiver for, because whoever this guy is, he's not going to cut it. We could use some depth there. And I'm glad I did this at the DT spot, so Larson should get the start alongside DeForest Buckner. We have that depth now filled out. We got our strong safety room taken care of. We're looking pretty good. So in the draft, I would say wide receiver. would be a spot we'd like to fill. Maybe left tackle. I don't know, though. I think Ryman's been good enough. It's not like we were getting pressured a whole lot in the conference championship game. We just weren't scoring for whatever reason. And then aside from that, I think wide receiver is really the only thing that we need. So I could do that and then trade back. And I think we'd be happy with that. And now I am going to go out to the free agent market. I think I used all of my negotiation windows for the first week. So it's going to be kind of the bottom of the barrel, guys. But we're really looking for like a wide receiver 4 or a wide receiver 5, depending on who we draft, just to round out that room. Because our top 3 is solidified. Pittman, Pierce, and Downs. No one's going to come in and be better than them right off the bat. Jalen Hurts is a Texan. That's interesting. Okay. We're going to have to contend with that. But let's look and see who's out here in the receiver market. Anyone interesting? Any former Colts? That would be fun. Paris Campbell's there. Paris Campbell could be intriguing. Is there anyone else? You know what? Yeah, I like that. I like Paris Campbell's speed. He's not going to be a threat to anyone that we currently have. I'd even send him a 2-year deal. For him to come in and be our wide receiver 4 or 5, a nice little reunion is in order, I think. That would be cool. Tennessee's probably going to beat us to him, and that's okay. So we could pivot. Are there any younger guys out here? Quez Watkins is no good. Traquan Smith, MVS. MVS is fast. I think for a wide receiver 5, you could do a lot worse than MVS. So let's do that. We should be able to bring him in, and then he can compete with what will likely be a rookie for reps behind our established 3 guys. If we bring in both of these guys, I'll be slightly annoyed, but worse things have happened. So we did bring in MVS, and Paris Campbell is going to go to the Titans. That's fine. And now it is time for, this is technically the 2026 NFL Draft. So at this point, you might be seeing Arch Manning enter the NFL Draft, potentially, if he ends up being good. You never know. But ideally, if you're the Colts, you're going to not be in a position to select him because Anthony Richardson is going to turn out to be the guy, a top 5 quarterback. That's what you're hoping for. Cardinals are picking first. And we're going to be picking 30th. So it's either going to be a receiver, I feel, or a trade back. Could also look potentially at DT, since we know we just have DeForest Buckner for 1 season. So let's look here. So I'm very curious to see the strengths and weaknesses of this class. You do have a wide receiver right there, Daniel Norvell, out of USC, Michael Pittman School. And he's got F catching, so I don't love that. I'm seeing Fs everywhere with some of these guys. I mean, this is not a great class. William Richardson has A catch in traffic, but everything else is pretty uninspiring. LaMichael Andrews is a projected day 3 guy. I don't know why I'm looking at him here. So the receivers are rough this year. The DTs are also not looking great, but you do have Nicholas Highsmith out of Georgia, who's just pretty solid across the board. Let's take a further look at him. If he's an athlete, perhaps, but I don't know if I'd want to take him this early. I mean, yeah, he's good. I think I'm honestly in the mood to trade back here, guys. I think that's going to be the move. Stockpile picks, because we don't know how our free agents are going to play out. We don't know if Kwity Paye will want to come back. He's probably going to get tagged if he doesn't. But we don't know what the future holds for Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, DeForest Buckner. It's pretty murky. So let's see if I could. I'm looking for a 1 and a 2. If I could see something like that. I see a 1 and a 3. A 1 and a 4. There's a 1 and a 3 from Las Vegas. Will they finally be terrible next year, though? I doubt it. We keep running into them in the playoffs. I mean, that'd be a risk. We do have to consider it is a late first-round pick that we're taking here. There are the Chiefs. They would give us a 3rd in this year's draft. I'm really looking strictly for picks in next year's draft. Chicago would trade back 2. That's stupid. I'm not doing that. Is anyone even giving a 2026 first? I mean, Cleveland is. Let's see if we can negotiate with Cleveland, get them to give us a little bit more. I'm going to try that. So instead of a first in next year's draft, what about a first and a third in next year's draft? Would they swing for that? Not quite. What if we throw in a 4 from this year's draft? How would that make them feel? I think that's pretty even, and not quite. I would throw in an additional 4th in this year's draft. Final offer. Let's see if they take it. They will. Okay. So we're going to trade back. We're not going to have a first this year. We're giving up both of our 4ths, but we get a first and a third in next year's draft. And hopefully the Browns are terrible. Hopefully this pays off for us. We will find out, though. But regardless, we are now going to have 2 firsts in next year's draft. So if we end up losing some players to free agency, we at least now have capital to come in and make things better for ourselves. And now we're going to have a 2nd round pick. Let's see who's on the board. And another consideration when your roster is this stacked, you could always just go best player available. So let's look and see if we see any guys with like A's and B's. Anyone that really stands out to us as an elite level prospect. I'm just looking here. Juan Wilkinson isn't really doing anything for me. I'm seeing some F's here. I'm just not blown away really by anything that I'm seeing. Dakota Lane looks decent. I mean, I suppose he could come in and be our backup running back, but for us to use a 2nd on him, he is out of Wisconsin, so Jonathan Taylor's alma mater, however you pronounce it. I mean, he runs a 4.47. He's a solid athlete. For a late 2nd, though, I mean, like, do we really need that? I don't think so. I mean, we were giving carries to pretty mid-level guys in the playoffs, so if we could come in and take someone to help complement Taylor a little bit. I mean, the guy's the reigning offensive player of the year the last 2 years straight. It's really a bit of a luxury pick, but I could be talked into it. I could be talked into going this route if it would load for me. Just to say that we made a pick and that we didn't trade everything away. He's got A, ball carrier vision, B, break tackle, A to C, carrying, B to D, catching. What about Sidney Stevens? Not really blown away by him. I think I could go Dakota Lane here. I don't think that's a horrible pick. You could always use a complimentary change of pace back. He is going to come in with hidden dev. So, I mean, hey, a white running back. We got ourselves our CMC, potentially. We'll take it. We'll take it. Maybe he could be a bit of a low-key, underrated fan favorite type guy. Anyone remember Toby Gerhart from the Vikings? And then he went to the Jags and got severely overpaid and was not good whatsoever, which is usually how things go for the Jags in free agency, just not in the most recent year or two. Shout out to Christian Kirk for breaking that curse. I think I'm going to trade back this 3rd. We'll pick up another in next year's draft. We'll take this. We'll get a 3rd and a 5th in next year's draft from Chicago. And I think we're going to call it a day on this draft class. We don't really have a whole lot of needs. There's not really a whole lot in the immediate future that I'm looking to replace. So we're going to go that route. And then next offseason will be interesting because we'll be heading into the final year of the rebuild. So we'll have some decisions to make for sure. But we should have money to where we can retain most, if not all of the guys if we really want to. So it'll really depend on their level of interest, but I think we should be in an okay spot. And here is the draft recap. So Dakota Lane's going to come in 70 overall. I don't love that. Matt Wild, CPU drafted tight end. 3rd rounder is going to come in 73, so that is fine. But it's time for another season here in Indianapolis. Can we get ourselves to a Super Bowl and finally get over the hump? Let's get to the mid-season point, see how things are looking for us. Okay, so mid-season point, we are 4-3, so a little disappointing, I'm not going to lie. However, we are coming off a 41-7 beating of the Raiders, so definitely extracting some revenge from last season. We do have a weekly award, so we'll go ahead and take a look at that. But, I mean, it's possible we just finally hit our stride. We have 2 Player of the Week awards. Jonathan Taylor, 230 rushing yards and 2 rushing scores. Kwity Paye gets 4 sacks. So that could have been the victory that we needed to get this season back on track. Would have been 3-3 at the time. Now maybe this is where we hit our stride. I'm probably not going to negotiate with anyone right this second. I'll probably wait until the offseason, but we're going to have $127 million, so we're fine on cap space. Kwity Paye, unfortunately, has no interest for whatever reason. Defoe does. Braden Smith does not. Kenny Moore, lukewarm. Alec Pierce will be easy to bring back. And man, yeah, it's a big list. It is a big list, but I'm going to wait until the season comes to a close. We should have 2 weeks where we can negotiate with guys. It's going to depend on our performance this year, their individual performance. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade our players, and then we'll get to the playoffs, and hopefully we've made it. Hopefully things don't fall apart for us. Okay, so we do make the playoffs just barely, man. Look at those final standings, the AFC South. 3 teams at 9-8, 1 at 8-9. We must have won the tiebreakers. We come out on top. Wow, not the year that we were hoping for by any means. I mean, 9-8 is a pretty big fall from grace from 14-3. Number 5 offense in the NFL, so I have to wonder if the defense just fell down to earth. 6th in the league? I mean, I guess we were just getting unlucky, but Richardson, another good season, 40 touchdown passes, passer rating north of 100. Taylor scores 22 times, 1,800 yards. In the receiving game, Pierce had a good year. Josh Downs had 11 touchdowns. Defensively, let's take a look here. Miles Jack, leading tackler, 13.5 sacks from Kwity Paye. Landon Jackson with his first double-digit sack year. Kool-Aid McKinstry has 7 picks. I mean, still it's a winning season, but man, 9-8? I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it, but we're still division champs. We have a tough one here with the Buffalo Bills, so let's take a look here and see. We did score 55 points in Week 18, but we got to go up against Damian Harris and the guy I'm really worried about here, Josh Allen. Let's take a look and see who they have defensively. Greg Rousseau, yeah, we're going to want to make sure to look out for him. And yeah, man, I mean, just a weird season. I was expecting, when I saw the offense was good, I was like, all right, defense has got to be like in the 20s. Like, we just fell back down to earth. But no, 2 top 10 units, and we still finished the year 9-8. Just weird. But I guess I'm done complaining or pondering about it. It's time to see if we can take down the Bills. We got a long road to go to get ourselves back into that conference championship game. We're going to have to win here. We're going to have to win next week. Kool-Aid McKinstry is up to a 95 now. That is insane. I mean, one of the best corners I've ever drafted in any of these rebuilds. Hopefully he ends up being as good in real life as he is in Madden, and hopefully we get a win here over the Bills because we have 1 year left at this thing. And I'd like to have a little bit of excitement here as we are going to lose to the Buffalo Bills. 30-28. Nice. Okay. So, let's look and see just briefly where things went wrong. We're going to have an interesting offseason ahead of us here. A lot of decisions to make. We get Bills-Chiefs in the divisional. That's a good matchup, I guess, if you want to find a silver lining. Very close in total yardage. Richardson, mistake-free game. Josh Allen, good game as well. Taylor scored. Richardson scored. Damian Harris scored. And Josh Allen scored. So, Stephon Diggs still getting it done in year 11. Pittman had a good game. Isaiah Hodgins had a good game. Defensively, I mean, where did we go wrong, guys? We are just not having the playoff success. Bilal Nichols had 2 sacks. That's interesting. Kwity Paye and Miles Jack shared another, and there were no interceptions this game. But man, guys, so far the furthest we've been is the conference championship game, where we choked away a shot at the Super Bowl. And we've got 1 year left to get this thing done. I don't know if we can, but let's get to the offseason and see what we can do. So here's your season recap. It is going to be the Carolina Panthers winning the Super Bowl. That might be their second Super Bowl of the series. It is. So maybe they'd be a fun team to do. But so far we have not had luck with this. They are going to take down the Chiefs. So Mahomes gets to another Super Bowl in this series. I believe he has a win a year or 2 ago. And now it's time to see who exactly we might want to bring back. So we're going to have this week and next week to do this. A lot of money. Let's see who we want to bring back. So $144 million. Let's start with the big fish here, Kwity Paye. What's he going to want? I mean, that's not even that bad. I would even go very player friendly. We've got 1 year left. He's going to test out free agency. Spoiler alert, Quiddy, no you're not. You are going to get franchise tagged, my friend. A 1 year, $18 million, yeah. I will take that every day of the week. DeForest Buckner, I mean, he is still an 87 overall. I would actually still pay that. That's fine with me. He's been great for us, start to finish. I love DeForest Buckner. Excellent player. Still leaves us with $114 million. Who's next? Braden Smith. I mean, the right tackle spot is a big one. Might be a bit of an overpay, but I'll do it. Because he is a great player, and right tackles are few and far between, as we've seen during this rebuild. Alec Pierce is interested in coming back, and it looks like he's not going to be super expensive. I'll even go player-friendly, reward him a little bit. So that's perfect. That works for us. We're in good shape. I know it's still a lot of names left on the list. Kenny Moore, I think, can walk. Josh Downs, I'll come back to him. Julius Brents, I would like to try and get back because that's pretty cheap for a 79 overall corner who's still pretty young. That doesn't really make much of a dent in our finances. So we'll get him back. Josh Downs, what would he want? I mean, that's pretty cheap too. A cap hit under $8 million. That's fine with me. And you guys notice I'm doing player friendly for all of these. It's because we don't have much time left. I don't want to lose out on these guys. And we used our franchise tag already. I'll even go player friendly on Ryman. That should be fine. He knows that he's not great. He's more than happy to get that. So $68 million left to play with here. Jelani Woods, we don't have a capable tight end behind him. And that is not super expensive either. All right, he's going to test free agency. So we might have to fill a hole at tight end. That is unfortunate. Bilal Nichols can go. Ibukam can go. Nick Cross, we replaced him. But if he wants to come back for backup money, we could always use the depth. Would he take this? Perfect. All right, so Nick Cross, that gives us a quality backup. Some depth in the safety room. Who else we got here? Darius Rush, Rodney Thomas, and a bunch of really nobodies. I mean, if Bilal Nichols wants a 1 year deal, I suppose I could oblige that. That's fine. So this is going to leave us with what? $59 million left to play with. Do we bring back Kenny Moore for 1 more year? What's our corner room looking like? It would be him, Greg Newsome, and Julius Brents. Yeah, we'll bring back Kenny. Why not? A lot of these guys I always say I'm going to move on from, but they've been reasonable with us. They are longtime Colts, and they fit what we need. So I would say, if anything, Jelani Woods is the one I'm a little bit disappointed about. I was hoping to get him, but we could always highball him in free agency. We're going to have $50 million to play with. And remember, this is the last year of the rebuild, so it is time to go all in. We got to do everything that we can to win a Super Bowl this year, and we're going to do just that. So now, what are our needs heading into year 5? What pieces are we missing to make this team a contender? Aside from needing to bounce back next year, actually that tight end that the CPU got us is not bad. Who is this again? I want to say Marcus Wilds. Matt Wilds. Matt Wilds is up to a 78 overall, so I don't have to bring back Jelani Woods. I'm a little bit bummed the CPU found this guy and not me. I can't take pride in that, but I suppose I'll live. Now, receivers, I think we're set. Running back, we're set. Quarterback, we're set. If there's an elite offensive lineman out there that isn't a left guard or a right tackle, I might be willing to do it. Because, I mean, it's year 5. We got to compete. Same thing goes for DT. Same thing goes for free safety. But outside of that, I think we're okay. So offensive line, DT, and safety. And those are all maybes, too. Those aren't positions that I necessarily feel we have to upgrade from. It's just depending on who's out there, I wouldn't be opposed to it. So now it's going to be like DeAndre Hopkins is going to be the best player available. Or like Tua. No, it is Breece Hall. And Colton Miller. All right. And Dallas Goedert. Okay. So now here's where things can get a little bit fun. So what if we try and bring in Colton Miller, despite the fact he has no interest in us? If we go very player friendly, I know we just re-signed Ryman. I know that that's really dumb on my part. But again, guys, it's year 5. Like, for the purpose of this rebuild, like, we got to contend. We got to do everything that we can here. Dallas Goedert would be a lot of fun. So Colton Miller and Dallas Goedert were top of both of their lists. Anyone else out here? Tyler Smith is younger and he has interest, but I think we'll still stick with our original plan. What about Jalen Thompson? Could we bring in Jalen Thompson and just completely round things out? Why not? And again, it's not the most realistic thing in the world. In fact, it's like the least realistic thing in the world. But you bring in these 3 guys, I think you are pretty strong contenders. Let's up the ante here on Jalen Thompson. That's not going to leave us with... Okay, it glitched out on us. We'll still have cap space. Disregard that. But let's take a look here and see. Where does this land us on their list? It's time to see. So Colton Miller, Dallas Goedert, Jalen Thompson. We're top of these 2 guys' list, and we're in the running for Thompson. So let's see here what we can do. I'm going to wait. They are evaluating the offers. All 3 of them are gone. And we did get... Oh, we lost out on Colton Miller. Oh, no. Is Tyler Smith still out there? Oh, I hope so. I really hope so. He's not. I played myself. Okay. Or excuse me. Yeah, Colton Miller. Colton Miller really did not do us any favors. He's going to go play with the Cardinals. All right, whatever. But we did bring in upgrades at tight end and free safety, so that's fine. That's fine. Now, I'm not going to lie, I have kind of been hoping to move on from Bernhard Raimann for a minute. So Andrew Thomas right now is rated as the 2nd best left tackle in the game. Only one higher is Laramie Tunsil, but he's 33 and plays for a division rival. So let's just see here if Bernhard Raimann and a first would be enough to get Andrew Thomas. Not quite. What if we throw in pick 21? Would that be enough to get ourselves Andrew Thomas? That's so annoying. I wish that there was just like 1 or 2 more trade slots. Okay, they don't really like Raimann. What if we make it a first in next year's draft? What if we do that? 3 first-round picks for Andrew Thomas. All right. Now what we could do is probably turn around, send them Braden Smith, and not Braden Smith, excuse me, Bernhard Raimann, and possibly get one of those first-round picks back. A little bit of 4D chess there, if you will. So let's take a look now. So now Andrew Thomas is left tackle for the Indianapolis Colts. That's incredible. So back to having one of the best O-lines in the league. It was already solid. But now what we could do is turn around and see. I mean, Raimann is solid. If you're the Giants, would you be willing to do this? You need a left tackle now. You really have nobody. Could we talk him into pick 14? Would they be willing to do that? No, they're not even close. They will not even consider that. And I suppose we could always keep him around for depth. What about pick 21? No? Really? You want to do pick 21? All right. What about your first in next year's draft? That way, if we want to make a deal at the deadline, we could. No. All right, so it appears the trade logic has been upgraded a little bit. But I mean, that's a really good left tackle room right there, man. Andrew Thomas, Bernhard Raimann. We could even slide Raimann over. We need a little bit of depth on the offensive line anyways. I wonder if we were to move him. I mean, is there anywhere he could start? I don't think so. He is kind of the weak link, but I mean, look at the Eagles. You know, they were fine with I don't know why their left tackle is blanking me. I know Andre Dillard is the other guy that I'm thinking of. But you know what I mean. The Eagles, they had 2 solid left tackles. One guy who just came out of nowhere was amazing. And again, I don't know why his name is blanking me right now. I'm going to feel like an idiot. I know who it is. It's a guy they got in like the 6th, 7th round. I'm going to look it up really quick. Jordan Mailata. Jordan Mailata. That's who I'm thinking of. So they had Jordan Mailata, and then they had, and now I'm blanking on the other guy's name. It has been a day, guys. Just disregard what I'm saying completely, but just know that we're happy with having depth on the offensive line. That's never a bad thing. So now it is time for the NFL draft. And as you guys know, at this point, there's no one that we're going to draft that's going to be able to come in making an impact for us this season. And just by nature of a 5-year rebuild, that's all that we're worried about is this season. So really, we're just in full trade back mode at this point. Again, once you get to year 5, the realism does go out the window to an extent, so I do apologize for that. But ultimately, I'm not going to be looking for developmental pieces when I know that, like, this is it. You know what I mean? So we're just going to go ahead, we're going to trade back, and then what happens is we get to the trade deadline, week 8. If our team is struggling, or if there's anything that, you know, I feel that would help us, then at that point we have some ammunition to go out and make a move. So we just traded back, we got a 2nd in next year's draft, plus, I don't know, maybe it was a 7th. I wasn't even really fully paying attention. We're going to go ahead, let's see here, 2027 is what we're looking for. We'll take a 3rd in next year's draft. And that's about it as far as useful capital goes. Maybe we have another 3rd round pick here. We do. We'll let the CPU take someone for us. But ultimately, for you guys that enjoy the draft, I apologize. I know that year 5 isn't the most fun to watch. But again, I hope that my reasons make sense. It just doesn't feel incredibly worthwhile to do an in-depth scouting report when I know that this is it. So not to beat a dead horse, but that is going to be my explanation for things. And now let's get to the draft recap. Maybe the CPU took someone for us. You never know. Let's take a look. And I mean, it's just, you have a 91 overall team. Who's going to come in and start for you, right? Maybe we have someone here. CPU went and got us a 70 overall corner, Mike Simmons. Okay, that is fine. We had quite a few later round picks, none of whom I think are going to make any kind of tangible difference for us. But yeah, man, it's a good team. It is a very, very good team. Let's take one final look at it here before we get to the playoffs, or the mid-season point, excuse me, which hopefully will be the road to the playoffs, and hopefully it won't be such a photo finish this time. So offensively, here's what we're looking at. It's a great team. I mean, it is just really stacked. You've got 2 great tackles, the best left guard in the game, 2 solid young players on the interior, one of the best tight ends in the game. Anthony Richardson's a 96. You got Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, Josh Downs. MVS is your wide receiver 4. I mean, that's a Super Bowl offense right there. And defensively, you could make the argument maybe we need a little bit better at DT, but still, I'm happy with that. You've got 2 great edge rushers, an amazing linebacking trio, a very solid secondary now, and one of the best shutdown corners in the game alongside Greg Newsome, another great corner in his own right. I mean, the team is just so good, man. Like, if we don't make a deep run this year, then this team is just cursed. I'm not going to lie. That's genuinely how I feel about things. But let's get to the midseason point and hope that we are not hovering around 500 again. Okay, so things are looking good as far as a bounce back season goes. So we are 4-2 right now. Let's go ahead. Let's check the stats. I don't think we're going to make a move. You know what? We're not even going to mess with that. Offense is 21st in the league somehow. We're 4-2 though, so defense is 3rd. So we got to hope the offense turns things around. I can't picture a move that would make things much better for us. But I'm going to go ahead and upgrade our players here. We're 4-2, so things are looking good. We've got some competition. It looks like the Jags are 4-2 right now, and of course we know it is still early, but I think we're okay. So let's get to the playoffs, and fingers crossed that we've made it again. Okay, so wow, what a finish down the stretch. We go 14-3, securing the #1 seed in the conference. That is the 2nd time this video And man, this team turned it up at the midseason point. So as you can see here, get a close win against the Jags, destroy the Jets, destroy the Steelers, close win against Dallas, close win against KC, another close one against the Jags. The Bengals get us in a thriller. That's our only loss the second half of the season. Incredible. Beat the Texans by 10, Titans by a touchdown, and destroy the Eagles in Week 18. So we're riding high heading into the playoffs. And let's look one last time at the stats here. See how things played out for us. So offense ends up finishing second in the league, so major step up there in that category. Defense is going to end up third, so they were just solid start to finish, but offense figured things out. Anthony Richardson, career year, 4,900 yards, 47 touchdowns, 11 picks, highest passer rating of the series, almost 120. That might be the highest passer rating I've ever seen doing one of these rebuilds. Also adds 415 yards and 2 rushing scores. Taylor has a little bit of a down year by his standards, but still an amazing season regardless with 14 touchdowns. Receiving, Alec Pierce, 10 scores, 3,000-yard receivers with the big 3 receivers there. 13 scores for Josh Downs, Dallas Goedert, 908. Taylor also adds 694 and 8. He might have another Offensive Player of the Year award on his hands if it's not Richardson. Let's look at the sacks here. Logan Wilson, the leading tackler for the first time. It's not Miles Jack. Kwity Paye, 20 sacks. 8.5 for Bilal Nichols off the bench. What is going on with... Where'd my guy go? I swore. I mean, where did he go? I mean, there's another guy, right? One that we drafted that's, like, supposed to be good. He had, like, 10 sacks last year. I mean, did he just disappear? I don't know. I'll have to go look at the roster. I don't know what happened. But anyways, we had 3 interceptions for Logan Wilson, 2 for Julius Brents, and just 1 for Kool-Aid McKinstry. So that is a bit of an anomaly. But let me look at my defensive line here. So here's my defensive line, and where's my guy been? Where has Landon Jackson been this season? I mean, no sacks? Like, why is he not seeing the field? I'm going to have to check out the depth chart on that. That is interesting. And yeah, I don't know, because he is starting at rushing right end, so I truly am confused why he hasn't seen the field as much, but I guess that's okay. We'll take it. I guess it was just a down year for him. Maybe he was hurt. I don't know, but injuries are turned off. Regardless, let's see who we're playing. I'll be surprised if it's not the Raiders again. And in the divisional round, it is going to be the Baltimore Ravens. We're seeing them for the first time. So Lamar Jackson, someone who Anthony Richardson has already been compared to by his teammates, Jonathan Taylor in particular. That's who we're facing here. So we've got our work cut out for us. And it's time to see if we can get ourselves back into the conference championship game. Normally, I would just skip ahead to the next week, but since this is the last season of the rebuild, we are going to go in for a full play-by-play. So let's see. Lamar Jackson is coming to town. He is a player who has had a little bit of tough luck finding playoff success. Let's see if we can find some against him, because we've had our own share of troubles. And here we go from Lucas Oil Stadium. Is this the last playoff game of the series? We will certainly hope not, as it looks like we'll be having to face off with Mahomes and the Chiefs if we do move on. We have seen some classic matchups against him in prior rebuilds. Let me know in the comments if any come to mind for you. But the Ravens are going to get the ball first, as I'm about to sneeze. Hopefully not. 1st and 10 Ravens. Jackson will gain 6. It's 2nd and 4. He gains 10. They're at the 41. He throws it away. It's 2nd and 10. Hits Mark Andrews for 6. It's 3rd and 4. Hits Dobbins for 10. It's a first down at the 44. He gains 4. It's 2nd and 6. Dobbins will lose 2, bringing up 3rd and 8 for the Ravens, and he hits Dobbins for 9. It's a first down at the 32. Jackson gains 4. 2nd and 6 at the 28. Penalty against the defense. Shaq Leonard makes it 1st and goal at the 8. Dobbins will gain 5. Ravens knocking on the door. Trey Sanders will gain 1. 3rd and goal at the 2. And Trey Sanders will punch it in with that massive forehead. It is 7-0 here. 3:04 left in the first quarter. Touchback Colts, how do they respond on their first drive? 1st and 10. Taylor will lose 3. It's 2nd and 13. Alec Pierce has a 10-yard reception. It's 3rd and 3. And Josh Downs has a 6-yard gain, bringing up a first down. Penalty against the defense. Daron Payne is now a Raven. Taylor will lose 3. It's 2nd and 8. Taylor gains 4. It's 3rd and 4. And Alec Pierce will gain 4, just enough for a first down. Colts at midfield. Josh Downs has a 28-yard gain, biggest play of the game so far. Pittman is on the board with a 6-yard catch. 2nd and 4, sacked by David Ajabo. It's 3rd and 10. And Richardson will throw it away. Now 4th and 10, Matt Gay is good. It's a 7-3 game. Both teams scoring on their first possession. Ravens a touchdown, Colts a field goal. Now can the Colts defense step up here? KJ Hamler has a 2-yard catch. We're probably going to miss a play here as the quarter starts. 4-yard gain, it's 3rd and 4. And Jackson will throw it away, so the Colts do force a 3-and-out there. Good work by the Colts defense. 10-yard return on the punt return at the 22. Dallas Goedert has a 21-yarder. 1st and 10 knocked away by Thomas Conley. It's 2nd and 10 at the 43. Pierce has a 14-yard gain. They're at the Ravens 43. Goddard gains 7, 2nd and 3. Richardson will gain 5 on the ground. 1st and 10 at the 31. He loses 2. It's 2nd and 12. He throws it away. It's 3rd and 12 now for the Colts. Penalty against the offense, possibly knocking them out of field goal range. He hits Pierce for 6, though. Should be an easy field goal, and Matt Gay is good from 49. So 7-6 here. Colts, field goals on both of their 2 possessions. Ravens, a touchdown and a 3-and-out. And now a 10-yard gain by J.K. Dobbins from Lamar Jackson. He throws it away. It is 3rd and inches technically. He throws it away again. What do they do on 4th and inches? I'd imagine they punt. They do. And it's a great punt down at the 4. 4:04 left in the half. Colts, Taylor will gain 10. 1st and 10 at the 14. Richardson will throw it away. It's 2nd and 10. And Jonathan Taylor, 86 yards. The extra point is good, and the Colts have put an exclamation point on that drive. Wow, momentum has firmly shifted. Dobbins will lose 2 on the ensuing possession, 2nd and 12. He gains 4. It's 3rd and 8 for the Ravens, and Mark Andrews has a 10-yard gain. A 3-and-out there would have been massive for the Colts, but not to be. Bateman will gain 14. They're past midfield at the 43. Dobbins loses 3. It's 2nd and 13 as the 2-minute warning approaches. Jackson gains 7. It's 3rd and 6. And it is intercepted, I believe. I believe it was intercepted. The Colts do have the ball. They are now at the Ravens 30. We missed a play. Dallas Goedert will gain 10. 1st and 10 at the 19. We'll check in on that at halftime. Goedert again for 7. 2nd and 3. Passes thrown away. 3rd and 3 for the Colts. Touchdown, Dallas Goedert. Oh my goodness, and the Colts have swung this thing wide open, 20 straight points. They lead by 13 with 1:10 left in the half. Plenty of time for the Ravens to make it a 1-score game. Jackson throws it away. It's 2nd and 10. He hits Andrews for 5. It is 3rd and 5, and it is intercepted by Kenny Moore. Colts have it at the Ravens 16. It's 1st and 10, knocked away by Johnson. It's 2nd and 10, and Alec Pierce will gain 6. It is 3rd and 4 for the Colts, and they have a first down, courtesy of Josh Downs. 6-yard gain, 1st and goal, touchdown Antoine Rhodes, the backup running back, and the Colts have a 20-point lead here in the first half. Oh my goodness, Indianapolis. They did not come to play today. Well, they did. They did come to play, but they are not playing. That's what I should say. Ravens are going to try and score before the half. They're dinking and dunking to Mark Andrews at 2nd and 6, sacked by Kwity Paye. 15 seconds left. It's 3rd and 11. Hits Bateman for 15. 3 seconds left in the half, and they will not score before halftime. So who got the interception? Where did that turnover come from? Regardless, though, what a start for the Colts. Let's take a look here. We want to look at game stats, I believe. No, it is player stats. So Jackson does have 2 interceptions. Now, who picked him off? We saw one from Kenny Moore. It was Miles Jack. Must have happened right at the 2-minute warning because it didn't show us the play. Next thing you know, Colts had the ball. But man, things are looking good. Now we just have to keep the lead. Taylor will gain 2. It's 2nd and 8. Richardson will throw it away. It's 3rd and 8. A 3-and-out would not be good, but that is what it's going to be here as he gains 6. 4th and 2, they will punt. Great one, though, down at the 3 by Kenny Moore. 1st and 10, Ravens. Dobbins will gain 3, getting them up a little bit. 2nd and 7, Jackson will throw it away. It's 3rd and 7, and it's dropped by KJ Hamler. Now, the Colts could get good field position here. They will. They'll take over at the 45. So 1st and 10, Richardson will throw it away. Great opportunity here. It's 2nd and 10. Hits Goddard for 15. This really could be the put-away drive. Hits Pittman for 23. They're at the 17. He throws it away again. It's 2nd and 10. Knocked away by Conley. 3rd and 10. He throws it away. 4th and 10. Matt Gay is good. It is a 23-point game here. Colts lead 30-7. It's going to take a miracle for the Ravens. Dobbins will gain 2. I don't even know why you're running it at this point. I guess that's why. Kool-Aid McKinstry is why. It's another interception, and the Colts take over. Taylor has a 9-yard gain. It's 3rd and 1 at the 15, and Taylor will gain 9. 1st and goal at the 5. Richardson gains 2. It's 2nd and goal at the 3, and it is intercepted by Marlon Humphrey. So clutch play there does keep the Ravens alive just a little bit. Couple nice plays here by the Ravens. 2nd and 3, Jackson will throw it away. It's 3rd and 3. He throws it away again. Now I feel like you gotta go for it. And no, they will punt. Down by 23. Taylor will gain 9. Now is where you start pounding away some clock. Penalty against the defense gives the Colts a 1st down. Taylor has a 13-yard reception. They're at midfield roughly. They're at the 49, 2nd and 8. Dropped by Pittman, brings up 3rd and 8. And Richardson will throw it away. So the lead still feels safe, but the Colts can't quite put that final exclamation mark on it to put the thing completely out of reach. Ravens not getting a lot done. It is 3rd and 7, and he is sacked by Kwity Paye. Now 4th and 10 to 20, they kind of have to punt there. And they do. So now the Colts... Oh my goodness. Jonathan Taylor has a 68-yard rushing score. It is 37-7. This thing is over. It is over. The Ravens will get a garbage time score. They get another one. Colts get a score. Ravens get another. And yeah, that is just some late game cheese right there. This thing was a blowout. Forget the final score. This thing was not even close. We gotta look. Let's see the score summary here. So, Taylor kicked things off with that 86-yarder, put the nail in the coffin with a 67-yarder, and then the Ravens did get a couple late scores, but at that point, it was just simply too little too late, and we are headed back to the conference championship game. Let's go. So again, despite the final score, this thing was, I would call it a blowout. I mean, for an 11-point win, it did not feel like an 11-point win. But now, things are about to get interesting. You've got two 14-3 teams here. It is going to be Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs versus Anthony Richardson and the Colts. Winner goes to the Super Bowl. They have the 2nd best offense, and they have the best defense in the league. Ooh, now that is scary. Okay. So... probably want to go blitz counter here to counteract Chris Jones. We already are worried enough about Pat Mahomes. But if we can get past these guys, I mean, this feels like the Super Bowl right here. Who would it be on the NFC side? So over in the NFC, it's the 10-7 Bucks. I know you can't see it super well, but the 10-7 Bucks facing off against the 12-5 Commanders. So yeah, this feels like the real Super Bowl right here. Two juggernauts duking it out. Who comes out on top? It is time to finally find out. And here we go, guys. Biggest game of the series, perhaps the last game of the series. It is the AFC Championship game from Lucas Oil Stadium. Colts versus Chiefs. Who is going on to face either the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Washington Commanders? It is time to finally find out here. First quarter, Kansas City will get the ball first. It is going to be a touchback, 1st and 10 Chiefs. And Mahomes is going to throw it away, brings up a 2nd and 10. Isaiah Pacheco will gain 7. It's 3rd and 3. Pacheco gains 3, good enough for a 1st down at the 36. Mahomes throws it away again, 2nd and 10. It is intercepted by Kool-Aid McKinstry. Colts take over at the 21, and it's a touchdown on the next play. Alec Pierce, it's 7-0. And this crowd's got to be going crazy right now. Could you imagine what that would be like? 1st and 10 Chiefs at the 25. Pacheco will gain 6. 2nd and 4. Penalty against the defense gives the Chiefs a 1st down. Pacheco will gain 7 at 2nd and 3 at the 43. Leonard Fournette is a Chief. He'll gain 1. 3rd and 2. Fournette will gain 7. Playoff Lenny, they're at the 49. Knocked away by Buckner. Mahomes has not completed a pass so far. He does gain 5 on the ground. It's 3rd and 5. He does have his first completion to Cameron Latou. And now Addison Bayless will gain 2. It's 2nd and 8. Bayless again for 3. It's 3rd and 5. And the pass is dropped by Jalen Hyatt. And Austin Seibert hits a 51-yard field goal. It is 7-3, 2:55 left in the first quarter. 1st and 10 Colts. Jonathan Taylor will gain 6. It's 2nd and 4. Richardson to Dallas Goedert for 15. Knocked away on the next play. It's 2nd and 10 at the 46. Knocked away again by Geo Sharp. It's 3rd and 10. And Josh Downs has 22 yards. It's 1st and 10, 15-yard gain by Alec Pierce. They're at the 17. Taylor will gain 5. 2nd and 5 at the 12. Michael Pittman has a 3-yard rush. It's 3rd and 2. Taylor gains 2, brings up 1st and goal at the 7. Touchdown Jonathan Taylor, a 7-yard rushing score, and the Colts are 2 for 2 on their opening 2 drives. It is 14-3, 55 seconds left in the third. Colts have played great so far. Jaron Hall will gain 3, the fullback. It's 2nd and 7. Mahomes picks up 9 on the ground. 1st and 10, knocked away by Julian Love. 2nd and 10, Mahomes will throw it away. It's 3rd and 10 at the 36. He throws it away again. Not a great start for Pat Mahomes. Chiefs will punt. Colts will take over at the 40 after a 13-yard return. First quarter winding down. Taylor will gain 9. Second quarter starting. 2nd and 1. Richardson does throw it away here. 3rd and 1. Taylor gains 2, enough for the first down at the 48. Knocked away by Justin Reed, 2nd and 10. 15-yard penalty against Geo Sharp. Richardson to Goddard for 8, 2nd and 2 at the 18. Matt Wilds, the tight end, has a 7-yard gain. It's 1st and goal. Sacked by Felix Anaduke-Uzama, 2nd and goal. Taylor will gain 6, 3rd and 11 at the 11. It's a touchdown. Dallas Goedert. And the extra point is blocked, but it is 20-3 here, 4:32 left in the first half. Perfect start here for the Colts. Mahomes will gain 4, it's 2nd and 6. Sheldon Coleman, the wide receiver, has a gain of 11. Kadarius Toney gains 26. He is hurt on the play. They're at the 36. 1st and 10, Pacheco gains 5. It's 2nd and 5. Cameron Latou for 9. They're at the 22. Mahomes will pick up 4. It's 2nd and 6. Pacheco gains 5. It's 3rd and 1. Mahomes gains 6. They have a 1st and goal at the 8. Penalty against the defense. 1st and goal at the 3. And it is a touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco has the first touchdown for the Chiefs. It is now a 10-point game after the extra point. 3:04 left in the first half. Touchback Colts, 1st and 10. Richardson will gain 8. It's 2nd and 2. Hits Goddard for 8. They're at the 41. 1st down. Matt Wilds for 8. 2nd and 2 at the 49. Richardson gains 7. They're at the 44. 2-minute warning. 1st and 10. Alec Pierce has a 12-yard gain at the 32 now. Pittman, his first catch, 13-yarder. They're at the 19. Pass is complete. No gain. 2nd and 10. Knocked away by Andrew Jenkins. It's 3rd and 10. Pass is thrown away. 4th and 10 at the 19. Matt Gay is good. It is 23-10, 13-point lead. Minute 13 left in the first half. The Chiefs have all 3 timeouts. 1st and 10. Mahomes pass is thrown away. 2nd and 10. Toney has a 17-yard gain. They're at the 42. Toney again for 16. He's getting active here today. Jalen Hyatt, 19-yard gain. They're at the 23. Mahomes throws it away. 2nd and 10, knocked away by Logan Wilson. 3rd and 10, and Mahomes does throw it away there. 4th and 10, and Austin Seibert missed the field goal. Colts, 46 seconds left. They take over at the 30. Richardson throws it away. 2nd and 10. It's Alec Pierce for 16. They're at the 46. They use a timeout. Josh Downs gains 15 at the 39 now. Jonathan Taylor, 4-yard reception. 2nd and 6. Josh Downs gains 16, 17 seconds left. They're at the 18. Penalty against the offense, holding at the 28 now. Richardson throws it away, 12 seconds left in the half. Hits Taylor for 20. They're at the 8. 1st and goal. Touchdown Colts. Michael Pittman. It is 30-10. And what a play there by the Colts. They don't settle for 3. They understand that's not going to be good enough to beat Mahomes. It is 30-10 here at halftime. Colts will get the ball to start the second half, and an amazing first half for them. Now they just have to hold on. Taylor gains 18 on the reception. Knocked away by McDuffie on the next play. It's 2nd and 10. Dallas Goedert will gain 8. It's 3rd and 2 at the 49. Richardson gains 3. It's a first down pass midfield. Taylor loses 3. 2nd and 13. Knocked away by Willie Gay. 3rd and 13. And Richardson will throw it away. Colts will punt here. And it is going to be a touchback. 1st and 10 Chiefs, their first possession of the second half. Pacheco will gain 4 at 2nd and 6. Mahomes will gain 8, 1st and 10 at the 32. Cameron Latou has a 6-yard gain at 2nd and 4 at the 38. Jalen Hyatt for 4, 3rd and inches. And Pacheco will get it. Gain of 6, they're at the 48. Jeff Thompson, the tight end, 10-yard gain. Jalen Hyatt for 20, a couple big plays by him today. They're at the 23. Sacked by Landon Jackson, the first sack of the game. Cameron Latou gains 12. It's 3rd and 8. Kadarius Toney again for 15. They're at the 6. Jeff Thompson, 4-yard gain, 2nd and goal. Touchdown Isaiah Pacheco. He's got his 2nd score of the game. Extra point is good. It is 30-17. Colts still on top. Minute 44 left in the 3rd quarter. Just got to hold on here. Richardson will gain 3. 2nd and 7. Taylor will gain 3. It's 3rd and 4. Sacked by Daniel Best. 4th and 10. Colts go 3 and out. They will punt. Amazing punt, though. Down to the 2 by Kenny Moore. 1st and 10 Chiefs. Mahomes throws it away. It's 2nd and 10. Pacheco will gain 6. It's 3rd and 4. And Cameron Latou will have a first down, gain of 7. They're at the 15. Latou for 14 as the 4th quarter starts. Chiefs at the 29 and driving. Pacheco, 3-yard reception, 2nd and 7. Mahomes will throw it away. It's 3rd and 7. And he'll hit Pacheco for 1. 4th and 6. Do they go for it? They do, and it's Toney for 17. They're at midfield. Mahomes throws it away. 2nd and 10. Hits Jalen Hyatt for 4. It's 3rd and 6. Hits Hyatt again for 10. Him and Toney have had big days today. Mahomes throws it away at 2nd and 10 at the 36. Hits Pacheco for 5. 3rd and 5. Hyatt for 14. They're at the 17-yard line. Mahomes will throw it away at 2nd and 10. Pacheco will gain 7. It's 3rd and 3. Touchdown Jalen Hyatt. It is now a 1-score game, and it was 30-10 at halftime. 4:18 left to play. Colts lead by 6. Touchback. 1st and 10 Colts. Josh Downs, 25-yard gain. They're at the 50. Richardson will gain 6. 2nd and 4. Penalty against the offense, 2nd and 9. Dallas Goedert gains 6, 3rd and 4 at the 44. Josh Downs gains 16. They're at the 28. Taylor will gain 8, just don't turn it over. 2nd and 2. Goedert will gain 9. They're at the 12. Taylor will gain 9. 2nd and 1 at the 3. Richardson will throw it away. It's 3rd and 1 at the 3. Touchdown, Michael Pittman Jr., his 2nd of the game, and the 2-pointer is good. Who else but Pittman? It is now a 2-score game with 2:21 left to play. If anyone can pull it off, it's Mahomes, but it's looking good for the Colts as he hits Hyatt for 7. 2:10 left. Hyatt again for 15. 2-minute warning has struck. Chiefs do have all 3 timeouts. They're at the 47. Passes dropped by Hyatt. It's 2nd and 10. Knocked away by Kenny Moore. 3rd and 10. Mahomes will gain 7. This is it. 4th and 3. Hits Hyatt for 21. They're at the 25. Touchdown Kadarius Toney. Chiefs not going away without a fight. 38-31, all 3 timeouts left. Colts recover the onside kick. Chiefs do have all their timeouts though. 1st and 10 Colts. Taylor will gain 11. That's huge. They're at the 37. Taylor gains 2. They're at the 35. Chiefs have used all 3 timeouts. Taylor will lose 2. It's 3rd and 10. Taylor will gain 8. They're at the 29. And why did you go for it on 4th down? What are you doing? This is, they're cheating us right now. If the Chiefs score here, that's ridiculous. Cameron Latou will gain 29. Latou again for 29. Are you serious? Bro, this game cheated us. You're telling me that you're in field goal range with all 3 timeouts gone, and we're going to overtime. Are you kidding me? This can't be. No. You know what? This is controversial, I'm going to hop in here because I don't care. Like, you guys saw that. We were up by a touchdown. They had no timeouts left. We were in field goal range, and you go for it? No, I'm taking that ball, and we're going to score our field goal, and we're going to win the game. Yeah, this is the first time I've ever hopped in like this. And you know what? If I turn it over, then so be it. But we're going to let Richardson do what he does best. He's going to get down here. And we're just going to worry about picking up some yardage. We're going to let Taylor do what he does. And just like he put away the Patriots in 2021, can he put away the Chiefs here? He's going to break a couple tackles. A few tackles, actually. I don't know what the difficulty is set on. I know it doesn't matter for Sim, but I mean, it's looking pretty good for us. And honestly, I'm going to end it right here. And Andy Reid's going to ice us. You know what, though? Matt Gay does not care about your ice, Andy Reid. Yeah, it's got to be on rookie. So this is going in. And we're going to the Super Bowl. Because, guys, like, that is the most scripted thing I've ever seen. Like, say what you want. At this point, like, I have to imagine so few of you are watching that it doesn't really matter. But that's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. EA was about to try and steal that win away from us. It was a great game. The Chiefs deserved to come back and make it a game, which they did. But for the game to play us that way, no, I'm not playing that. I'm not playing that. Might be controversial, but I think I did the right thing there. I genuinely believe that, and we are moving on to the Super Bowl as we rightfully should. And now the question will be, who are we going to face in the Super Bowl? Commanders or Buccaneers? And who's the quarterback going to be? So it is going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I do want to see what we're going up against here. So it's going to be Russ Abrams. Okay. CPU-generated player, unless he's a 2024 quarterback that I've just never heard of. They do have the 9th best offense in the league and the 19th defense. They do not have a very good defense. So I think we're actually in a pretty good spot here. So we're going to hop in and we're going to see if we can take this Super Bowl. And for the first time for the Super Bowl, we go slow. We're going to get a full play-by-play. And let's just see if we can become Super Bowl champions. Colts, Buccaneers, who is coming out on top? So Hard Rock Stadium, home of the Dolphins, and it's going to be Colts, Buccaneers for all the chips. And who's going to come out on top? Let's go ahead and get into our Super Sim here. We're going to go slow, full play-by-play. We want to see the whole entire game. That way we're not getting played around like we did against the Chiefs. So Bucks will get the ball first. Colts are going to kick off. Short kickoff. Thankfully, though, the Bucks don't have Devin Hester on their side like the Chicago Bears did in 2007. So it's going to be the equivalent of a touchback. So young quarterback here had an interesting haircut. Kind of looked like mine almost. He is going to drop back and pass. He's going to have time. He finds a man who breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, a third tackle, a fourth tackle, and it takes 2 Colts to bring him down. So Abrams is going to find, is that Irv Smith? That is Irv Smith Jr. making the play for a 25-yard gain on the first play of the Super Bowl. And what is going on with this Colts defense? All right, so next play, Abrams is going to find, nope, broken up right there by number 12, and Anthony Richardson trying to hype up Kwity Paye, it looks like. You just saw those 2 Colts at the bottom of the screen in sync. Going to start a dance crew after this game is over. Look out, Jabberwockies. Abrams throws it to absolutely nobody. It's going to be 3rd and 10. Hopefully our third down defense does better today than we did against the Chiefs. 3rd and 10 at the 48. Abrams has time. Buckner's going to break through. He's got a sack there. He's going to take down Abrams, and the Buccaneers are going to have to punt on their first possession. So outside of that really nice play by Irv Smith, pretty good defense on that first drive by the Colts. They are going to punt, and it's a punt into the end zone. So Anthony Richardson in the Super Bowl. 1st and 10. He's got Taylor in the backfield under center. He will take the snap here. He's going to send a man in motion just a little bit. Hands off to Taylor. Taylor breaks 1 tackle, 2 tackles, and drags defenders for a gain of 12. Great play there by Jonathan Taylor. It's going to bring up 1st and 10 at the 32. Richardson in the backfield with Taylor. He is going to take the snap. He hands it off. Nope, it's an option play. He's going to keep it. Breaks 1 tackle and a short gain of 3 on the play. Going to bring up 2nd and 7 at the 34. Richardson alone in the backfield now takes the snap. High snap, it looked like. And throws a dart there to Pittman, who has a nice gain of 19. Colts pass midfield. Now they are at the 47. Colts have 3 receivers to the right. Taylor in the backfield with Richardson, 1st and 10. He's going to pass. He's got time. He finds a man there. And who is that? It is Josh Downs with a gain of 9. So now the Colts at the 38. Good opening drive here. Richardson is going to take the snap. He hands off to Taylor. And Taylor, for the first time, gets stuffed. It's a very short gain. It'll bring up 3rd and inches. Colts, 3rd and inches now at the 37. Not quite in field goal range. Richardson's going to pass. He finds a man in traffic. It's the tight end, I believe. I don't know who that was exactly. Oh, it was Dallas Goedert. Excuse me. I forgot we had him for a second. Richardson's going to hand off on the next play to Taylor, who can't quite break both those tackles. He's going to have a gain of 4. So 2nd and 6 now for the Colts. Going to be 2nd and 6 at the 26. Richardson drops back. He finds a man open. Pittman is going to have a gain of about 18 on that play. So Colts are going to have 1st and goal now at the 8. A couple big plays by Michael Pittman. He's got 37 yards on this drive. Richardson to pass. He's got all day. Finds a man. And I believe that is Alec Pierce who fights his way into the end zone, and he has the first touchdown here of the Super Bowl. So Colts are going to take the lead with 23 seconds left in the first quarter. And Matt Gay for the extra point. It is good. Colts are going to lead 7-0 here. And they will kick off to Tampa Bay, who struggled on that first drive aside from 1 big play. Another short kickoff. They're going to run it back, and they will get taken down around the 24-yard line. So Tampa Bay, their second possession. What can they do here? Quarterback alone in the backfield. 1st and 10. He's going to take the snap, and quick pass, complete, but a good tackle there. It's going to bring up 2nd and 4. It's a gain of about 6 on the play, and that will conclude the first quarter. Irv Smith, 2 catches so far today. So good first quarter there by the Colts. It's going to be 2nd and 4 for the Bucs now at the 30. Abrams drops back. Another quick pass, and that was in traffic. That was a bit of a dangerous throw. Could have been intercepted. I saw 3 Colts in the area and maybe 1 Buck, if you could argue that. 3rd and 4 now. Abrams, he finds a man, and it is complete. Gain of about 7 there. That is good enough for the first down. Oldham was the receiver there, whoever that is. Anyways, Abrams is going to pass here. He's at the 37. Another quick strike there. And that is a really good gain to Oldham again. And now the Bucs are at the 46-yard line. They are driving. Couple first downs on this drive. Abrams is going to pass again. He's got time. Buckner's breaking through, though, and he's got his 2nd sack of the game. That almost looked like it could have been a fumble. Pretty lackadaisical with that ball security there. He just let it go the second he hit the ground. 2nd and 20 now. Buckner making his impact felt here. And it is complete. Colts miss the tackles, and that is a great gain on that play. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 5, gain of about 15 there to Irv Smith, who has 47 yards already in this Super Bowl. So 3rd and 5 at the 41. They're knocking on the door of being in field goal range, and they're going to hit the man who does get a first down. So Abrams has made some good decisions here early. They're at the 34, so definitely in field goal range. Going to be 1st and 10 now at the 34. He'll take the snap, quick strike to nobody. He is 6 of 10 for 78 yards here. So 2nd and 10, they've controlled the clock. I mean, Colts have not held the ball for a long time. And it is complete. Gain of about 12 there. So they're at the 21-yard line. That was Mike Evans, who's still in the league. Good for him. Abrams drops back. And his man was open. He just missed him. But it is 2nd and 10 now at the 21. Abrams, again, they have not ran in a while. He's going to find a man open. I think that's Oldham. It's 3rd and 1. 2:15 left in the half. No, that was Chris Godwin, also still on the team. So they are making their presences felt, hoping to get ring number 2, and Chris Godwin has a score. Yeah, you put a linebacker on Chris Godwin, that's the result you're going to get. And it is about to be a 7-7 ball game here in this Super Bowl. Now, I do regret slightly that I didn't turn the clock up just a little bit, add a minute or two to the quarters to make it a little bit more of a high-scoring game, give the teams more of a possession. But at the end of the day, really, how realistic is Madden, right? So, honestly, I'm okay with it. So, Bucks are going to kick off after the score. 2-minute warning approaching. Colts are going to run it out to about the 28-yard line. So, they get one play before the 2-minute warning. Of course, all 3 timeouts. Richardson has Taylor in the backfield with him. He will take the snap. He's going to pass. And he finds Pittman, who fights his way. That should be a 1st down. And it is going to be... Yes, gain of 10 on the play by Michael Pittman. So Colts at the 39, 1st and 10 now. Richardson takes the snap. He will pass. He's pressured, but he gets it off to Goddard, who breaks 1 tackle but gets brought down. Gain of 4. Richardson, 100% completion rate at this point. He is 7 for 7. He will pass again. He's got all day. Still looking. Flag on the play. And I believe he did find Dallas Goedert there. There is a personal foul. It's roughing the passer. I don't know that I saw that, but I will definitely take it. And it is a 1st and 10 at the 43. I think if they declined, it would have said incomplete. So I guess that was not a completed pass. Richardson will pass again, though. And he's got another completion there. Who makes a move. That is, I believe, Josh Downs. I couldn't quite tell. I couldn't see from this angle, but he'll pass again. Has another completion. Taylor stiff arms a man. And why did the play end? I genuinely don't know what happened there. I'd love to see a replay. Because, I mean, he was still up and still in bounds, so why'd they blow the play dead? Colts are going to call a timeout here. I mean, this is just a busted game, guys. Like... As much as I love making these videos, like Madden is just, they gotta sell the rights to somebody, man. Somebody can make a better game than this. Richardson will pass, though. It's 3rd and 2. And he does find a man. Not the best pass in the world, but Josh Downs does what he does best. That body control, those hands. And the Colts have a 1st down at the 31. Richardson will take the snap again. He's gonna pass, and it is complete to Goddard. Colts take another timeout. They're at the 17. Gain of about 13 there on that play by Dallas Goedert. So nice work by the Colts on this drive. Richardson has been very efficient so far in this Super Bowl. Colts at the 17. He's going to pass again and finds Downs in traffic. Clock is running. Colts not going to use a timeout. 20 seconds left. 1st and goal at the 3. Richardson takes the snap, and he has a man. It is Jonathan Taylor, who has the receiving score right before the half, and that is great news for the Colts because, of course, they get the ball to start the second half. So classic Bill Belichick, Tom Brady right there. Score right before the half when you know you're going to get it back after halftime. That is an 8-play, 72-yard drive, and the Colts have just been amazing on offense today. Two great drives to start things off. Bucks are likely going to take this into the locker room. I don't know that they have enough time to really try anything. 11 seconds left in the half. We'll see what they do. It's looking like they're probably just going to be content with running it out here. They've got two backs in the backfield. They are going to hand it off. The running back does have a nice gain, though, and this is what they do. They're going to take a timeout. You realize you have 5 seconds left. What are you going to do with 5 seconds? It happens in Madden all the time. They say they're going to chew the clock. They gain like 10. That doesn't make a difference, bro. It does not make a difference. If they score here, I'll eat my words. But look, see, useless. Absolutely useless. So, Colts are leading at halftime. And after the non-existent halftime show, we are back. So, Colts do get the ball here. Good kickoff. Wish we had their kicker on our team, or punter, whoever that is that handles the kickoffs for them. I don't know who's wearing 88 for us, but certainly not Marvin Harrison Jr. Richardson is going to hand it off to Taylor. Colts did not run the ball much in the first half, although their second drive was largely inside of the 2-minute warning. Taylor will gain 4 right there. It's 2nd and 6 at the 29. Taylor's got a touchdown in this game, and he's going to take the handoff, stiff arms a man into oblivion. Another, and almost enough for the first down. So Taylor, 5 carries for 27 yards. It's 3rd and inches. Richardson's under center. Taylor in the backfield. He's going to hand it off, and Taylor has an easy first down. He has got a lane. He's going. He is going. He might score here. He's to the 10, and he is in. Jonathan Taylor for 65 yards. Oh my goodness. Is that your Super Bowl MVP right there? It very well could be. Wow. What a play by Jonathan Taylor. This guy is a home run waiting to happen, and he makes it happen. Oh, look at that Miami Dolphins logo. How sloppy, EA. Come on, get it together. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So the Colts now looking amazing in this Super Bowl. It is about to be 21-7. It is. Matt Gay is perfect. And what a start now for the Colts. So I shouldn't say what a start. I mean, we're in the third quarter, but man, 3 for 3 offensively. It does not get any better than that. Very short kickoffs. What is going on with our kicker? Is he sick or something? Bucks will get it at the 27. A little shoving match there with Kenny Moore and somebody. I'm glad that EA thought that animation was worth having in there. A little bit of realism, I guess. Abrams, got to do a little bit more in the second half. That is not going to cut it. Ugly pass there. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 10. He's got his running back in the backfield with him. We know it's not Leonard Fournette because we just faced him last week, but he's going to take the snap here. He's going to pass. Not a great pass right there. His running back has to adjust for it. He does make the catch before stepping out of bounds. It's Elijah Mitchell. It's going to bring up 3rd and 9 for the Bucks. He will pass. He's got time. And that was a bad throw. That was not a good throw at all, and the Bucks are going to have to punt here. So the Colts are looking really good. One of our X Factors is activated. I don't even know who that is, but I'm happy with it, and that punt is going to be a touchback. So not quite there, what they were hoping for. And now the Colts have a chance. They can really put this thing away if they want to. With the way they've played today, Richardson's going to take the snap. He will hand off to Taylor, who's been insane today. And he's got a gain of 8. So Taylor, 7 carries for 101 yards and a score. Couple catches for like 10 yards and a receiving score. I don't know who your Super Bowl MVP is. Whether they give it to Richardson or Taylor, it's going to depend how these last couple drives go. So Richardson now is 14 of 15 for 122 yards and 2 scores. You could really argue either of them at this point. Richardson alone in the backfield. He's at the 32, 1st and 10. He passes. Easy completion there to Dallas Goedert, who has a gain of about 16. Richardson has just been carving apart this Bucs defense. We knew they weren't great coming into the game, but man, this has been a show that Anthony Richardson's putting on. He's going to pass again, and he's got a man open. He is just throwing strikes today. Josh Downs breaking tackles. Great game there. Richardson now up to 164 yards. Colts have 268 yards of offense. 2 minutes left in the third. They're at the 26, 1st and 10 under center. He will hand off to Taylor, who might score again. He will not. He does have a gain of 13, though. So who's going to score on this drive? I don't want to jinx it. Taylor does have his X Factor activated, so he is dangerous right now. You do not want to mess with Jonathan Taylor. He's going to break a tackle. Does get brought down. It is 2nd and 2 at the 5. Heavy formation here for the Colts. Looking like a run, but you never know. It's a pitch to Taylor, who's going to stiff arm, and he is in. That's your Super Bowl MVP right there. Jonathan Taylor, his 3rd score of the game. Oh my goodness. Let me ask you guys this. A little bit of trivia. Who knows? Has a player ever scored 3 touchdowns in a Super Bowl before? I don't know the answer to that. I'd love to know. Has anyone scored more than that? And I'm not talking about passing touchdowns, of course. Receiving or rushing scores, has anyone had 3 or more? Let me know in the comments. I'd be very curious. If you let me know, I'll feature you in the next video. You have my word on that. If you're still watching, especially. I mean, if you're here to listen to that, I appreciate you regardless. But yeah, please do let me know. I'd be very curious. I have to imagine, I don't know any off the top of my head. I feel like 2 is an obvious one, but 3 or more, that would be something. So Abrams going to pass. Down by 3 scores. Nice strike there. And that is a gain of about 26. So they definitely needed that, but it might be too little too late with the clock and the way the Colts have been playing. I mean, they're going to need some magic here. He will pass again. He's got time. Oh, and that is almost intercepted right there. The pass was so bad. If it had been a little bit higher, that could have been something. He will pass again to nobody. He's looking rattled at this point. He's 11 of 21. About a 50% completion rate in the Super Bowl. That is not good. Colts defense has done their job. That first drive, second drive didn't look great. Ooh, that is a nice pass, though, to Mike Evans. I mean, yeah, it's been an ugly game for him, but he's made some big throws today. So, I mean, it's not over yet, but it's looking good for us. So they're at the 26, 1st and 10, he'll pass, finds a man open, breaks a tackle, and that is Mike Evans, gain of 11 on the play. So 5:51 left, 5:30 now. He's under center, got 2 guys in the backfield with him at the 15, 1st and 10. It is a handoff. And that is a gain of about 4. I mean, I know you're in the red zone, but, I mean, you got to score quick, right? Like, you really got to be on it. Do they go for the onside kick after this if they score? I mean, I would honestly wonder. And this guy is going to have... No, he gets stuffed at the goal line. That was a good run, but whoever number 12 is just came in clutch. Julian Love has a touchdown-saving tackle there. They're probably going to score regardless, but still, nice work by him, good effort. It is a pass, and it is caught. So Chris Godwin has 2 touchdowns. Playing well in a losing effort. Bucks about to make it a 2-score game here. I mean, it technically already is, but it is now 28-14. So 8-play, 76-yard drive. Now they will not go for the onside kick. I guess I do understand that, but they're going to need a quick stop here. And Jonathan Taylor is in the zone, so good luck. Nice run back by the Colts up to the 32. And this is the drive. This is the drive where you close things out. You cement yourselves as world champs. Give it to your best guy. Don't make any dumb decisions. They're going to hand off to Taylor there, of course. He's going to break a tackle, and he has a gain of about 14, it looks like. So he's got 142 yards and 2 scores, plus 1 through the air. I mean, for a running back, like this is like an all-time level performance right here. Richardson sends a man in motion. It is a little pitch play, and that is Josh Downs. That is a good gain right there. It's a shovel pass, actually. So Richardson adds to his passing total. And yeah, I definitely think Jonathan Taylor still is your Super Bowl MVP. Richardson's going to keep it here. And he has a pretty nice gain of about 11 on the play. So yeah, Colts, I mean, it's definitely over at this point. 2:35 left to play. Colts in field goal range, up 2 scores. They're starting to chew down that clock. It would be interesting to see if Taylor will score again, though. He is going to kind of get caught up in traffic there. Couldn't quite get the block, so we are at the 2-minute warning. So Colts are either going to start kneeling it out, which I don't think they will because the Bucs are going to use their timeouts. It's not a victory formation, so they are still going to run it here. And Bucs will start using those timeouts, but I don't think it's really going to be worth much. So they know the run's coming. It's going to be 3rd and 4 after a short gain by Taylor. Bucs do use their first timeout. And now 3rd and 4 for the Colts. Richardson is going to take the snap. He will pass on this play, and he finds Josh Downs. It is over. It is completely and utterly over, and the Colts are going to be world champions here. We get it done in the final game of the series. Wow. So let's just see here how the Colts cap things off. They're going to give it to Taylor. He's going to fight his way for a gain of about 5 there. Will he score one more time before the game ends? That's the last thing that I really want to see. Colts kind of adding insult to injury at this point. They probably could start kneeling, but they say, you know what? You play the game until the final whistle. Taylor is going to get caught up, and he fights his way. He gets the touchdown. Jonathan Taylor, 4 touchdowns in the Super Bowl, and this thing is officially over. It is a blowout. We're done. We are all done here. I mean, the Bucs might get a final score at the end, a little consolation prize, but there's just no stopping this Indianapolis Colts team. So as you can see, I mean, we're just kind of cycling through here quickly. Yeah, I mean, big plays at the end. This always happens. It's going to look closer than it actually was. For all intents and purposes, your final score here, 35-14. I mean, just outstanding work by the Colts, offense and defense. Richardson, a perfect game. Taylor, somehow an even better one. And this defense just came in clutch. I mean, they made the stops. They forced Abrams into some bad passes. And man, what a game here by the Indianapolis Colts. So let's look and see before we end things off. And while I skip forward, I do want to thank you guys for watching. If you are still here, comment the rock emoji just so I know you're a real one. Because at this point, the video's got to be pretty long, right? I mean, I'd have to imagine we're around the 2-hour mark, if not close to it. Probably past it, to be honest. But here are your yearly awards. Let me move myself out of the way. So what a year for the Colts. So Anthony Richardson gets his first MVP award. Jonathan Taylor is your Offensive Player of the Year for the 3rd time of the series. He is your Super Bowl MVP. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, this is the career of, honestly, you could call him, if Jonathan Taylor in real life does this, you could say greatest running back of all time. 3 Offensive Player of the Year awards and a Super Bowl MVP. I mean, that is a resume right there. That is an incredible resume. And the Colts, we do finally get ourselves a Super Bowl. So let's just see. So we did 5 years of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it was the Panthers, the Chiefs, the Bears, the Panthers again, and finally the Indianapolis Colts. And we are done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Probably the last real rebuild for Madden 23 before I start getting into some historical ones. But this was a fun one. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.